Heyo everybody, Haku here with a One Piece character tier list, and we have got 391 characters, so this is going to be a very long experience, but I kind of want it to also be a bit chill. I'm not gonna, try to rush through it or anything, but even if I take like 1 minute per character, this will still take hours, so of course there's some minor ones that I'll just be throwing in a tier. And I also probably won't order characters within the tiers just because, like, even if you were to go to me and be like, yo, give me a top 5 One Piece character, I would be, or like One Piece characters, I'd be able to name a top 5, but not really in any particular order. So I think it's fine to just order them by tiers. I've just been on a real One Piece kick lately. I have so many other things that I want to record, so many other videos I want to make, but I was like, I really want to do a One Piece tier list. Um, because I know I'm months behind on this, but I I really wanted to do a discussion video on the most recent character poll because I just saw it, even though it came out like 2 months ago. But I was like, you know what? Before doing that, let me rank the characters myself. Now I couldn't find one with like 1,000 characters that still had like good pictures and everything, but 391 I feel like is going to be pretty inclusive of basically everyone of any kind of importance for me to rank them. So this is where you're going to see how I feel about the One Piece characters now. I did a One Piece characters video probably like years ago, but now you're going to get to see the 2021, sort of midway through 2021 idea of how I'm feeling about the characters in One Piece right now. So yeah. Also, I still plan on doing a One Piece like best girl waifu tier list at some point. So you'll be getting to see that at some point too. Yeah, just tons of other One Piece stuff on the channel. But real quick, before we start throwing characters in there and talking about them, the tiers I have set up here, the F tier is just the fuck this guy lol tier. Don't really like them. Could be better. Better. Ace, but with the S, I couldn't really cross out the S or anything. It was hard to think of good things to fit with all of these letters, so you'll have to forgive me here. Sabari's Finest, Super, and Rooftop Tier. So, yeah, that's where we are. Now I feel bad that I've named the one Super, because if I don't put Frankie in there, then, yeah, I'm gonna feel bad about that. Feel bad about Frankie. Didn't he come in last in the uh, worldwide character poll? That's rough, man. Last among Straw Hats, at least. That's rough. I really like Frankie, though his post tip or his post time skip design doesn't really do it for me as much as his pre time skip design did. Alright, so let's get started. Looks like we're going to start with the Straw Hats and then move chronologically, so you'll get to see my thoughts on the most recent like Wano and Onigashima characters last. But I'm cool with that. I think that's a good order to go in. So let's start with the Straw Hat. So we're going to get a bunch of high-ranking ones first. And I'm probably going to move characters around a lot, like as I see where other characters are. So like I might not put all these characters in like the top tiers yet, but then I'll sort of like, once the list starts filling in more, I can move them up and down to where it's a bit more appropriate. But just starting out, I think Luffy, main character, he's a great main character. I think I've got to just go straight to rooftop tier for like the first pick. But that's just because Luffy's a really great protagonist. And usually, like, I'm not a protagonist guy. Wasn't the hugest Naruto guy when watching Naruto as a kid. Same with Bleach, wasn't the hugest Ichigo guy. In anything, I tend to prefer the side characters a bit more than I prefer the main characters, but there are a few main characters here and there that break that pattern for me, and Luffy's one of them. I think what sets apart Luffy, there's two big things that, as a main character, really set him apart for me, and that's that he isn't ever really portrayed as some special chosen one. He's just a guy who has a devil fruit power, and there are a bunch of other people who have arguably better devil fruit powers. Yeah, if anything, him being the son of dragon is kind of the most iffy thing about that. And I mean, he does have the will of D, but at the same point, it's not like in a lot of other shonen where the main character is basically just anime Jesus. Luffy has to work for all of the stuff that he deals with. Usually, I've called it before, like the Luffy method or the Luffy pattern, where in each arc he tends to get beaten by the arc villain like once or twice before like learning from his defeat each time and coming back to finally get the win. I think he rarely, if ever, just beats the enemy on the first try. So yeah, I think those two things, like him not just right away beating every enemy, is special. Him actually taking L's, and also the fact that he's not just anime Jesus. Zoro, again, always been one of my favorite characters ever since I was a little kid. I first like watched One Piece probably like the dub on Cartoon Network when I was in like elementary school. So yeah, been a huge fan of Zoro since then. Nami, I also really love Nami. For now, I'm gonna put in super. Maybe Nami may move up or down. I don't know exactly where yet. Usopp I loved as a kid, especially the Alabasta stuff was really great. I liked him in Skypiea a lot. I just feel like as the series has gone on, post time skip is really flanderized a lot of the Straw Hats, but Usopp in particular. It seems like most of the times we go to Usopp, it's just to make the same, oh, he's scared of insert thing here gag, and that's all we get to see out of him. So Usopp's slanderization, I've not been the biggest fan of post time skip. So I think that's why I'm gonna put him in A or S tier. I'll put him in A tier for now, but again, he'll probably move up one. I just want to see where I put other characters at first, because that's the same thing like with Nami too. It's like she could fit in double S tier, but it just depends on where I put other characters. Sanji, I've never been the biggest Sanji fan. I've always thought he was a little overrated. Now that said, I do like him a lot still. He's at least A or B tier. I'm gonna at least put him in A tier. I feel like a lot of people have sort of dropped their value of Sanji because he's just constantly taken L's recently. But I think just the meminess of Sanji taking L's constantly has actually made me like him more because it's hilarious that he just like gets disrespected and loses so much. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in A tier for now. Chopper, I again always loved. I feel like Chopper's suffering from the same issues as Usopp. Maybe not as bad, but he's kind of suffering from the same issues as Usopp post time skip. But also post time skip, like his transformation designs don't look anywhere near as cool as they did pre time skip. His pre time skip transformations looked so much cooler. So yeah, that's another one where I'm like, we'll see where he ends up compared to other characters. Robin has to probably be S tier. We haven't, again, like I've mentioned in like my reactions and discussions and stuff, we haven't seen a whole lot of Robin post time skip. She hasn't gotten a whole lot of shine, but that might be changing soon. And I remember how good of a character she was for most of the series, so I still have my hopes high on Robin as a character. Frankie, I loved pre-time skip. He was one of my favorites. Post-time skip, I didn't hate his design at first, but over time, I've just missed his old design more and more. And again, I feel like talking about the Straw Hats is just turning into, wow, I like their pre-time skip designs more. But no, that's really only true for like Frankie and Chopper's transformations. But yeah, post time skip, Frankie's design just doesn't do it for me. Like at first it was like new, it was different, but now I just miss the old Frankie. And another thing I've seen other people bring up too, when like people are saying like, oh, I don't like Frankie as much as I used to, he's kind of dropped in the Straw Hat rankings for me. One thing that I can agree with that I've seen other people say about that is that it's not just the new design that seems to be less popular, but pre-time skip, Frankie showed a lot of personality in a lot of scenes. Like just thinking back even to even to Thriller Bark and everything. Frankie has so much personality, and aside from a few scenes here and there, Frankie just doesn't get to show as much personality post time skip either, in addition to the new design. Like, one of his only, I would say, he has two memorable post time skip scenes to me, and that's about it. The one where he's saying, like, even if the rest of you go on ahead, I'm staying in Dressrosa because I have morals and everything. Like, that's a good one. And the best one in Fishman Island, when Luffy just does the, like, ah, that's the fishman who's coating Tom's brother or whatever. And Frankie just says, yeah, gives him a thumbs up. That is one of my favorite scenes from Frankie post time skip. So yeah, I'm going to, honestly, I'm still going to stick him in A tier for now. I might like him a little bit more than Sanji. He, Chopper, and Usopp are really, really close to me, though. I'm not sure which one of the three of those I like more. Brook, I love. Brook is so underrated to me. Brook is a really undervalued Straw Hat, in my opinion. Like, he was the MVP through Whole Cake Island, and really doesn't get enough respect. I'm going to put him in S tier for now. He might end up going to double S tier. Actually, screw it. I'm going to put him in double S for now and maybe drop him down compared to where other characters are. I don't want to put too many characters, like, right at the top and, like, devalue the top spots, but we're talking about the Straw Hats here. And Jinbei has to go rooftop tier for me. Jinbei, I love his Fishman Island scenes, even though Fishman Island isn't one of my favorite arcs. I'm not a big fan. I might put Fishman Island as, like, if I ranked the arcs, it might be one of the bottom ones for me, but I still loved all the Jinbei stuff there. And yeah, I just generally like his character a lot. I want to see more out of him, everything like that. So yeah, and like I said before, when I mentioned, like, if you told me to just throw out a top 5, I would probably say Jinbei in that top 5. He would probably be one of the ones I would throw out as my favorites. He, Luffy, and 3 others that, well, I'll go ahead and say it. So you're going to get spoiled on some of my absolute favorites right at the beginning. If you were to tell me to just throw out a top 5, it'd be hard to not put Zoro in there. Kind of also a little hard not to put Nami in there. But I would probably throw out Luffy, Jinbei, Crocodile, Doflamingo, and Carrot, maybe. It's kind of difficult for me to also not throw Enel up there pretty highly, but yeah, those would be the 5 I'd throw out. Luffy, Jinbei, Carrot, Doflamingo, and Crocodile, just off the top of my head. But again, I really love Zoro and Nami and Enel, so we'll see where all the rest of these characters end up, because I'm probably just forgetting a lot of characters too. Roger, I like a lot. I've liked him in his flashback. We've only really got an idea of Roger. He's more of an idea than a character at this point. But we have gotten some stuff with him in flashbacks now that I've liked a lot. I love the design. I like that he's the one that really set into motion all the events that we're seeing right now in the present time of the story. So I'm actually going to put him in A tier for now. Again, he might move up or down. But even though he's just an idea more than a character, I like him a lot. Same with Shanks. I feel like Shanks is a bit overrated, though. People are going to get on me for this one, but I think Shanks is a bit overrated. For now, I'm putting Shanks in B tier, but Shanks is totally the type of character where when we, like, it's just because we haven't got much into his, like, actual story or anything yet. Once we actually get into Shanks' story and we learn more about him, I'm sure he'll jump up to, like, in the S tiers. But at least for right now, where we know nothing outside of Luffy's flashback, really, which, again, I love Luffy's flashback and the fact that he would lose an arm over something like that. Even in that case, I'm putting him in B tier for now. But also, I totally forgot to say at the beginning of the video, if you're watching this and you're an anime only, might be some manga spoilers in here because I'm caught up to the manga and I'm going to be taking that into account when I make my selections here. We have Lucky Roo, who is also great. I would put Lucky Roo up there with Shanks. I don't know if it was changed from the manga to the anime, but it was at least the anime, right? That he just clapped the guy in the head, like, right at the beginning of the series. Just cold-ass Lucky Roo. So, yeah. Putting him up there just for that. Yesop kind of ran out on his kid. Maybe he should go into C tier for that. But he's pretty cool. Again, I think we're going to learn a lot more about him and stuff. Same with Ben Beckman. Oh god, I don't know if I should put him in B or C. A lot of people really, really like him, and I think it's just because of his design. I always see him ranked like super highly in character polls, and I'm like, the dude has done like damn near nothing except for like aiming a gun at Kizaru and Kizaru being like, "Chill, man, chill." Um, at least I think it was Kizaru who was aiming at uh, in um, in Marineford, and he's like, "Yo, yo, Ben Beckman, calm down, man." Uh, so yeah, Makino is the bar chick's name, right? I really don't like have any opinion on her either way, so I can just throw her into C tier, I guess. I don't dislike her at all, don't like her at all, just don't really have an opinion. Random bandit guy that I think his crewmate might have been the one that got shot in the head, not him exactly. Um, so yeah, fuck this guy, lol. Um, this is Whoop Slap, right? Whoop Slap is the mayor of like Luffy's hometown or whatever. He's the one that always gets like a bunch of memes and stuff, right? I always see him in like character polls, and I'm like, who the fuck is Whoop Slap every time? Um, just for that, I'm putting him and don't really like them. Because, like, he's just a random nobody, and whenever I see him, I'm always like, who the fuck is this? Um, so, yeah, going in don't really like them tier. Gonna get some dislikes for that, maybe, but eh. Kobe, I like a lot. I like Kobe and his character arc. I like the idea of Kobe as a character going from the beginning of the series until now and being a part of Sword and everything. And there's so much cool stuff that we could potentially, like, that's another thing to take into account with these characters, like with Shanks. Shanks is in B, but like has a chance to just jump straight up to rooftop once we get deeper into them. Kobe's another one that just has so much potential. Like, some characters just are good and are kind of where they're gonna be, but some are good and have like so much potential to rise even more. Alvida I don't hate, but could be better, I guess. Again, I like the idea of her like getting this devil fruit, coming back looking completely different, and continuing to play a role in the story as part of Buggy's group. Um, but despite all that, I'm considering B tier. I'm gonna stick with C though for now, because again, I feel like some of these characters are gonna need to move up, or maybe especially down when we get into like some really good ones later on. Um, Axan Morgan, I'm actually gonna put him. He's an interesting, like, very early game villain, I think. I'm gonna still put him in D tier because who really thinks, oh yeah, Axan Morgan, I really love that guy. No, nobody really is like Axan Morgan stan, I don't think. But at the same time, he's a cool, super early game villain. Um, we got Helmeppo again. I like for similar reasons to Kobe, only like not nearly as good. Yeah, I'm gonna throw him in C tier, but I do like Helmeppo. Just not really particularly any more than just a neutral character, you know? Queen is good. I liked her part in Zoro's backstory and everything, but that's about it, really. Um, yeah, unless we get more about her, she isn't really going any higher, but I'm actually just going to put her in B tier for how important she is to Zoro and his character. And just because the backstory, especially the first time you watch it's just really good. Zoro's teacher was I still have this theory that because like that's totally what Denjiro looked like, right? That is like totally what Denjiro looked like. And then all of a sudden he like goes into this place and comes out like looking like the Kyoshiro Denjiro. So I'm thinking maybe he split into like I don't know. Is there some sort of like yin and yang fruit? He split into like the light hair and dark hair version of himself. I have no idea. But I just feel like he looks so stupidly much like Dendro that there has to be some connection there, right? Um, but at the same time, he was kind of a dick of a dad to Kuina about her being a girl and everything, and he didn't really have much personality or anything. So I'm actually going to put him in fuck this guy lol, just because he has like nothing going on as a character. Now, of course, he could have a connection with Denjiro and jump up a lot from there, but as for right now, he's a character that we're probably never going to see much of again, and also just doesn't really have much personality or anything like that. Okay, now getting on to Buggy. Buggy's a character that post-time skip, we haven't really seen basically anything out of him, but pre-time skip, I loved Buggy. I'm at least going S tier just because of the greatness that was in Impel Down. Like, I loved Buggy and his role in Impel Down, and in Marineford too. Buggy was just so fun and entertaining. So yeah, for now, going in S tier, might move up or down. We've got, that's Moji, right? Or Monji? Moji. Um, it's kind of boring. I'm gonna throw in C tier for now. Again, could move up or down. Richie though is the lion, right? I won't forgive him what he did to this poor dog guy over here. Um, but I'm actually gonna put him higher up. Ah, might even put him in A tier for right now, just because I love the scene where they're fight. I don't even. This might even be anime only. This might even be like filler or in canon filler. I don't remember if this was in the manga or not, because again, it's been years upon years. But when they're like having the boxing match or whatever over who's going to be the next captain while Buggy's gone, and then Richie wins and becomes captain until Buggy gets back, that scene is so funny and good that I'm actually going to throw him in A tier for now, but he's probably going to drop to B tier. Honestly, you know what? He should drop to D, he should drop to B, and I'm going to put Kabaji in A. I think that's a fair way to go. If anything, like, I should probably be fair. Like, it's not that, like, I dislike her. It's just that I don't have any emotion or feeling either way. So yeah, I think that'll maybe be fairer. I don't know. Um, the dog, people really, I don't even remember his name. Shushu maybe. Um, there are people who really love the dog, but to me, the dog story is a little on the forgettable side. Um, I don't know. It's really emotional and cool, and an important thing is that it shows you what kind of person that Luffy is. It's a glimpse into his character in the early game, so to speak. Um, I'm gonna put him in C tier. I'm gonna put him in C tier, but Richie showed him who's boss, so Richie gets to stay a tier above. What's his name? Like Gaimon or something? I don't remember his name even. He's going in fuck this guy lol tier, just because every time I rewatch the series, which I haven't done a lot because it's hundreds of episodes long, but every time I get to the episode like where this guy is, I'm just like, oh god, I gotta sit through this again. And that's kind of why I put him there. People like to put him up higher on lists and stuff just as a meme character, but I'm saying memes be damned. He's going in the bottom tier because whenever I hit the episodes with him, I'm just like, oh, come on. So, yeah, that his episodes are a bit of a drag. We've got the three kids, what is it like, the carrot, onion, and pepper kids from Usopp's Syrup Village. I guess I'll just throw them all in D tier. Don't really have any emotions either way. They're not annoying, which is impressive for kids in a shonen manga. They're not annoying, but they also don't particularly do anything that I care a lot about. I mean, they help a little bit and push the plot forward a little bit in the Syrup Village arc, so I can at least give them that. So it's keeping them out of the just bottom, completely worthless to me tier, but they're not great either. Kuro, I think, is such wasted potential. I'm going to toss him in B tier, but he might throw down, but he might go down. Kuro, I thought was really cool in the early game, but then we just never really saw or heard anything about him or his 1,000 plans ever again. Django. 1, 2, Django. A tier. Django's hilarious. I love him. We got the two, the Miaoban brothers or Nyanban brothers or whatever. They were kind of cool as early game villains. I kind of feel like they deserve to be higher than these D tier characters, but then I look at the C tier characters and I'm like, do they really deserve to be up there with them? So I'll just throw them, even though I'm not really ordering the tiers, I'll just throw them at the top of D, maybe. We have Kaya, who is adorable. I love her. Endgame relationship for Usopp. Gonna at least put in C tier. I'll put it like the top of C tier. Because I feel like I value Kaya more than I value any of these characters, really. So I wonder if she should be B tier. We're gonna throw her up in B tier for now. You know what? Put her above Kuro. Put her above Kuro. You know what? Let's do that for now. The Going Merry, rooftop tier. Going Merry is rooftop tier because I swear to you, the first time I watched Mary's funeral in the anime, I was mourning for like 2 weeks. That it fucked me up for like 2 weeks. I was just in that post-Mary depression. So yeah, Mary goes rooftop tier. Just because I don't know if any anime scene has hit me so hard that I've been just like, not just crying when I watched the scene, but like in mourning for some time afterwards. So yeah, Going Mary's like in a special place. Then we have regular Mary, who, you know what? You know what? Did more than a lot of these other characters to push the story forward. Was kind of a dick to Usopp, though. Top of D tier. We got Johnny and Yasaku. I don't remember which is which. Didn't particularly like any of them that much. Didn't dislike them either. Would be really funny to see them reunite with the Straw Hats at some point in the future. I doubt it's going to happen anytime soon unless it's like an endgame kind of thing. But I'll throw them in C tier for right now, though they might move down. That's Full Body, right? He's pretty funny, but I mean, Django's the real star here. So I don't want to put him in F tier, but he's not great either. Zeph. Zeph, top of C. Oh, I don't know if I should put Zeph in B or top of B. Zeph is cool. Zeph is good. Then again, Zeph was kind of a dick up until he saved Sanji. So I don't know. It's difficult. And though he said, Sanji, you know what? Not allowed to kick women. He was perfectly okay with kicking children. And not only that, but like, I don't know, I feel like him telling Sanji he's not allowed to kick women has ended up turning into not a great thing sometimes, because sometimes Sanji has run into women that are like seriously actually like murderers, like terrible, horrible people, and by Sanji not kicking them, he is allowing them to continue to do pretty atrocious things. So you know, maybe light sexism isn't the right lesson, Zeph. We have the two chef guys there. I never found them particularly funny. This guy was less funny than this guy, so this guy gets D tier. Other guy gets fuck this guy tier. Gin, I always forget how cool he was. I always think, oh, he's just some random Baratier character that we never see again. But then every time I go back and reread or rewatch Baratier, I'm like, damn, Gin kind of got that, though. He's kind of cool. So, yeah, I'm going to throw him in B tier. I'm going to throw him in B tier. And I've seen, like theories that he's like Green Bull and stuff, which I highly, highly, highly doubt. But yeah, I'm just throwing him in B tier for now. Don Krieg, cool idea, cool fight for when it was in the series. I actually really like the Don Krieg fight. But you know what? I'm gonna throw him in C tier for now. I was going to say D, but I'll throw him in C for now. He's a cool early game villain, but compared to basically every single One Piece villain after him, like literally every single One Piece villain after him, doesn't have too much going on character-wise. Beyond that, we got Mihawks, Mihawk, who is hella cool. At least A tier. I might move him up to S tier, though. I like him a lot. I like him a lot, but again, I feel like he's another situation like Shanks where we've seen more of him than Shanks, which is why I'm putting him a bit higher. But we just haven't seen enough for me to say, like, he's my favorite among favorites or anything. But we'll see how things go. The Pearl guy, again, actually a pretty good fight with him and Sanji and Gin and everything. Like he's pretty annoying, but at the same time, it's a pretty solid fight. You know what? I'm gonna move him up to D tier. He can drop down with his friend in S tier, or in F tier. They're not very funny. This guy was like Nezu or Nezumi, the military guy. Fuck this guy. Arlong. Arlong, fuck this guy because he's a terrible person, but I think Arlong as a villain gets underrated. Like, everybody always talks all the time about how Crocodile is this incredible villain, the first amazing One Piece villain. But nah, Arlong is the first amazing One Piece villain, and that takes nothing away from how incredible Crocodile is. Like I said, he's probably my top 5, but yeah, Arlong is undervalued as like a really good early game villain. Arlong is like fucked up, and that makes him like a really great early game villain. And then learning more about Fishmen and stuff, we see that there's kind of a reason he's fucked up. Doesn't give him an excuse for it, but like it just adds more depth into an already pretty cool character. Hachi is goated for Sabaody, but other than that, it's kind of eh. He was funny in the Arlong Park arc. I'm gonna give him B tier just for that. Actually, I'm gonna give him A tier for now. Hachi kind of goated a little. We'll see where he ends up. I'm gonna be moving characters up and down as we go along, but you know, for right now, I don't hate that placement. We have Moo or Mumo or whatever. D tier, just kind of random whatever. The DSL guy. You know what? I'm gonna put him in D tier just because I like his fight with Usopp. I was gonna put him in fuck this guy tier, but you know what? I like his fight with Usopp. Same with Karuvi's actually pretty cool. We didn't really get to see much of him ever again, except I think we saw a little in the Sun Pirate flashback. I'm gonna throw him in D tier. Actually in C tier. If I'm putting people like Kabaji and Don Krieg there, he can go in C tier for now. Nojiko is dope, B tier. Gen is kinda whatever. Like, he's really cool in theory, but then when I go back and watch, I'm like, he's cool and all, I just don't care that much. Belmare can go C tier. Again, I think she's super, super cool. Her scenes were incredibly emotional and made me incredibly emotional, but when I think of my favorite characters, I'm never like, oh, Belmare. This is brand new, right? He's the guy we always see at Navy HQ. Fuck this guy. Not big into the Marine guys. Smoker, I immediately say that and I get to Smoker, and I love Smoker, honestly. Ever since I was a kid, Smoker's been one of my favorites. Even though he takes a lot of L's, he's really cool, and again, I think his character still has a lot of upside. So he's going in S tier for now. Tashigi is in a similar situation, going in top of A tier for now. Might move him around. Okay, people are going to hate me for this one. A lot of people are going to complain. Dragon is fuck this guy tier. This dude was an awful father from everything we know so far. Luffy never even met the guy. The revolutionaries, to me, are the least interesting or exciting group. Like, when you're like talking about pirates, I'm like, oh hell yeah, some of them are evil, some of them are good. Basically all of them are cool. We talk about the Marines, it's like, fuck these guys, these are the bad guys, but there are some really cool ones in there. And then you get to the revolutionaries, and I'm just like, I don't like or care for the revolutionaries very much. And among them, Dragon is just, again, he's kind of a shitty father from what we know so far. We don't know much about his character. What we do know, I don't really care about. I'm not really that into. And he also, like, is potentially one thing that is turning Luffy from just this nobody who, through his own, like, blood, sweat, and tears made it up so high, to then people can point to and be like, well, he was the son of the most wanted man on the planet, and that kind of takes away from Luffy a little bit. So yeah, fuck this guy. Crocus is dope. Fuck this guy. Crocus is dope. Crocus B tier. Laboon C tier. Top of C. Vivi, I like Vivi a lot, but I was never super, super into Vivi. Even like way back during Alabasta and everything, never a super big Vivi fan. She's just alright. Like, at the most, I can say she's alright. I'm actually gonna, I think I want to put her at bottom of B tier. I don't think, like, she isn't C tier to me. She's a solid character. I don't think she's like one of the best characters is what I'm saying, but she's solid. B tier. That's the frog gun guy, or the guy that was with the frog gun girl or whatever, I think. No, no, that's Vivi's partner in the Baroque works. Yeah, I don't remember a damn thing about him, so fuck this guy. Except that I remember him getting like clapped in the Laboon arc or whatever. Um, oh yeah, that guy. I don't remember his name. He was always doing the little like opera warm-ups and stuff. It's on the tip of my brain, but I can't think of it. Igaram, maybe, was his name? And D tier, just because they're... Actually, C tier. I say that they're forgettable, but then again, every time I rewatch or reread, I'm like, you know what? I kind of like them. Um, so, yeah, that's where I'm at with Igaram. Now, the next two are kind of a real shame. It's Mr. Five and Miss Valentine's Day, right? So, those two, I always thought they had, like, the coolest designs from the Baroque works, basically, other than, of course, like, Robin and Crocodile. I thought that she had, like, the best female design. I can't think of a female design I like more than her from the Baroque works. And it's between him and Das Bones for as the coolest male design. So I always thought both of them, and now their real names have been revealed or whatever, but I don't know them. They had such cool designs, they had such cool devil fruit powers too, and we basically just don't really get more out of them after Little Garden or whatever. So that's a big disappointment, because they were both like really, really cool to me. They were like the coolest two out of the Baroque works, basically. So yeah, I actually want to put them in A tier. I really like those two, and I really wish Oda had done more with them. So I'm gonna throw them up there for now. We got I think the otter is the girl and the vulture's the guy. I don't really remember. They're forgettable, but kind of funny when you go back and rewatch. So I'm gonna throw them in D tier. Karoo is going B tier with Vivi. Karoo is also one that, like, I don't think is, like, the best of the best, but you go back and you rewatch or reread Alabasta, Karoo comes in clutch. At least towards the end parts when Alabasta is good, not the beginning parts where we're in the desert for what feels like an eternity. So yeah, Karoo's pretty good. Dory and Brogy, a little on the forgettable side to me, but they're not bad in any way. They're just on the forgettable side to me, so I'm gonna throw them in D tier. Mr. 3, Mr. Waxman. This guy was really, really cool to me in Impel Down and Marineford. I actually really liked him a lot. I love that he stuck around, like, with Buggy's crew or whatever, so he's going in B tier, actually. I like him. Again, Miss Golden Week, I think. We really just didn't get to see enough of her after, Little Garden. So again, I don't think she belongs in like A tier, but she can go. You know what? I feel like if I put him above like Shanks and Vivi and stuff, people could be like, "What in the hell?" But I don't know. He can go in B tier for now, but I really like him. We have Wapple. Every part of me right now wants to say fuck Wapple, but that's kind of what makes him an entertaining villain. So just for entertaining villainry's sake, I can go in D tier. These guys are, like, not unentertaining villains either. Like, that's the thing. I don't like them at all. But at the same time, I can't say fuck this guy about them. Because they're entertaining as villains. Dalton I actually really like. We got to see a little bit more of him in Reverie. I'd love to see even more of him. So you know what? B tier. Kreha I've always really liked. I've always really liked Kreha. I'm gonna say, do I put her in A tier? I actually really like her. I find her really an interesting, like, I want to say funny, but really it's more the emotion behind her and everything, and her story with Chopper and Hiruluk is just really good. Chopper's backstory is, when you tell me to go back and, like, say what I think the most emotional or like memorable backstory is in One Piece, I basically always go to Chopper's backstory. I think it's one of the most heartrending, it's one of the most just amazing ones. So Hiruluk to me is like super tier. Hiruluk is so so good. And again, even to this day, his final speech, his death scene, so many scenes with him are to me like some of the most iconic in the entire series, some of the most memorable in the entire series. So yeah, super tier. Crocodile, one of the all-time greats, a really great villain, but also another thing that I'm going to put him in super tier for right now, top of super tier for right now. One of the things I really love about Crocodile is that as much as I love his character from what we've already seen, we've got that relationship with Ivankov, we've got whatever they're doing in the New World with Das Bones, like, there's so much potential still to come from Crocodile as a character. So yeah, Bones, great. Love him. I'm putting him in A tier. I really, really, really like him. His fight with Zoro was really cool. I thought he was really cool in Impel Down in Marineford. So, gets thrown in A tier for right now. Then we've got, I forget her actual name. Is it like Claudia or something? I don't know. But Miss Sunday? Miss All Sunday? No, that was Robin. Miss something. I don't even remember. I don't know. She's always been overrated to me. C tier though, because her fight with Nami's like really good. This is so funny. I can't even remember her name. Oh well. But like I said, yeah, she's a forgettable character. She's not a great character. I've always thought she was overrated in terms of Baroque work members. But I really, really, really like her fight with Nami. It was amazing getting to see Nami in like a real fight. Bentham or Bon Clay goes in. Ooh, I'm gonna put him in super tier for right now. He's going in super tier for right now. I love Bon Clay. We still could see so much more, and also just everything from Impel Down is so brilliant. So yeah. Then we've got Mr. Four and Miss Groundhog Day, who are both kind of crap, but I don't want to put them in F tier just because, again, their fight with Chopper and Usopp is incredible. So it's like, I don't completely hate them, even though they're just like, sort of early villains and like henchmen types. Uh, the dog can, the dog can go with them. Okay, Ace. Ace is, let's see. That's it. Ace is A tier to me. Okay, so it fits. Ace is really, really, really good. It's just that a lot of people, like, Ace has been dead, like, what, 10 plus years now? And a lot of people still put Ace as, like, their top favorite of all time. And that's fair. But for me, I've just sort of, like, I don't know. I'm the type of person that embraces new things, and, like, I've just sort of moved on where I'm like, yeah, I loved Ace, but it's been forever since he was in the story, and I've kind of moved on, even though Oda still calls back to him for some of that nostalgia here and there. Next, we've got Cobra. Kind of forgettable. I love the way he is as a father with Vivi, though. I'm actually going to put him in C tier, just because he can be a really entertaining arc villain, and we don't know what happened to him at the Reverie, but I guess we'll see what happens there. Pell, just the god. Tanks a nuke. S tier Pell. Tanked a nuke. The, like, sort of original One Piece meme character to me in a lot of ways. And this guy, his name is Dondachaka, right? I really liked him as well. I thought his devil fruit was cool. We didn't get to see a lot of him, but I still thought he was really cool. He probably doesn't belong as high as like Dalton or Vivi or anything though. Screw it. I'll put him at the bottom of B tier just because I feel like he's better than these characters for the most part. Even though I feel like he doesn't stand up to a lot of the ones there. Like I said, once we get more characters up here, we can restructure the list a bit. I might like go through around half of these characters or like record for like an hour and then take a break and post part one. And then after that, we can start part two by reordering some of these characters and then doing the other half maybe. I don't know how I'm going to record this or how I'm going to post this yet. But yeah, we have Lashes, who I never really thought was all that funny. D tier. They're not bad though. There's like some funny slapstick scenes between Lashes and the guys, but yeah, not that great. Oh, fuck this guy tier. Koza was lame. What a dork. What a dweeb. This guy got played so hard by Crocodile. F tier. What a lame. What a lamer. So then we have Hina, right? Hina? Hannah? Hana? Hina? Hina, I think? Iron Cage? D tier. Never really been a fan. Kind of boring. Don't really like the design that much. Kind of your generic One Piece woman design. Followed up by, I don't know. Just not much of a character there. Not a big fan. This dude, Sarkis or whatever. Fuck this guy tier because he's basically never ever showing up again. Bellamy is such a shame. After Dressrosa, I was like, oh shit, I love Bellamy. I'd be cool if this dude joined the Straw Hats. It'd be sick if he joined the Straw Hats. And then Oda disrespects this man, turns him into like just a random ass flag maker. Oh man, D tier, just so much potential to be like A tier, but then right at the finish line, Oda just disrespects him. This guy went from potential Straw Hat in my eyes to like Oda's most disrespected character in my eyes. This guy, Mont something, right? He was the descendant of the, what's the... Yeah, Montblanc Noland was his ancestor, right? Yeah, so what was his name? I don't remember. Don't even remember the guy's name. I don't want to put him in fuck this guy tier though, because the story with them and the Sky Island and stuff was pretty nice. Kind of forgettable in the long run, but pretty nice. The monkey guys were kind of funny actually. Ooh, funny monkey. Yeah, just gonna throw them in D tier as well. We haven't really got to see much of anything about the Five Elder Stars, the Gorosei, except that they're subservient to Imusama. So, yeah, Gorbachev guy can go in fuck this guy tier. Gandhi guy also. Don't know about this dude, also can go there. The guy that people were theorizing was Sanji's dad. D tier. This is getting so random. This guy's always had the coolest design to me, actually. D tier. We've got Sengoku. Sengoku is kinda there are some scenes where I'm like, you know what? I really like Sengoku. And then I remember all the stuff from Marineford and I'm like, wow, he's kind of a lame government bitch. So, C tier. C tier for being a lame government bitch. Even though you seem like you could be such a chill guy, Sengoku. Tsuru is... Wait, that's her name, right? Tsuru? I don't know. Again, there are things I dislike, things I like. I kind of feel like she's more chill than Sengoku. I kind of like her more than Sengoku, honestly. And she laundered people. She hung people up to dry in Marineford. You know what? B tier for Tsuru. Dofi, one of my all-time favorites. A top 5 for me. Dofi's going rooftop tier. Not only was Dofi a really, really, really great arc villain, but Dofi was such an important character in the grand scheme of One Piece. He was essentially just a linchpin holding the New World together, that without him keeping the New World at peace, it just falls all into the shits. So, yeah, mad respect for Dofi there. Kuma, I also really like. We haven't got to see a ton of Kuma lately, so I might just throw him in A tier for now, but he could move up to S tier when I restructure things a bit. Alright, now we've got Whitebeard. Alright. Whitebeard is again a character that we never really saw a ton of. I'm going to put him in A tier along with Ace. I really like him, but we never really got to see a ton of him. Who is that? Is that Blackbeard? The picture of him looks really weird. Maybe it's because it's like so zoomed out to me. But I believe that's Blackbeard. If so, again, to me, kind of overrated. I'm going to put Blackbeard in C tier. I mean, I don't know. There are some villains I get really attached to and really like, but Blackbeard just has never seemed particularly cool to me. I don't really see what everybody else sees in him, I guess. I really like this guy. What was his name again? LeBlanc? Is that his name? I do like him, or maybe it's something with an M? I don't really remember. I'm gonna throw him in B tier, though. I like their devil fruit. Um, Jesus Burgess. Meathead know me. Just gonna throw him in the D tier. Again, I've never really been particularly impressed by Blackbeard's crew or anything. The gun guy, whose name I'm not even remembering right now. .Q. They can just all go in D tier. They don't particularly impress me. We got Gonfall, forgettable. A lot of the Skypiea art characters are pretty forgettable to me. Gunfall can go C tier, I guess. Again, that's probably one we're going to have to reorganize. I don't even remember the horse bird very well, so D tier. Conus I always really loved as an art character. I can throw Conus all the way in B tier. I liked her as an art character. Conus's father, pretty lame and forgettable, D tier. I was gonna say, who's that? That's the head of the White Berets, Jorgen von Strangle wannabe. F tier. Fuck this guy. Like, wasn't funny or fun or entertaining in any way. Kinda just a pain in the ass and a burden to the characters during the arc. Enel, one of the best. Again, we still have a ton of potential as a character. Gonna put in double S tier for right now. This guy was annoying. Their fight was okay, I think. I remember them being annoying, though. Fuck this guy tier. Yeah, they were also kind of a nobody. Fuck this guy tier. This guy, yeah, same. Screw him. Screw the henchman. Like, it's so funny. In Skypiea, Enel was so cool, but all of Enel's henchmen were so lame. This guy, was he Gidatsu? Was that his name? I remember this guy being kind of funny. He can be in D tier. This guy that Robin kicked his ass can go and fuck this guy tier. I don't even remember. Do I remember this? I only vaguely remember this animal guy. So, fuck this guy tier. Then is that the head of the Shandians, or is that Wiper? I think that might be Wiper. If so, I always thought Wiper was like the lamest name. I never liked the guy. Screw him and his little henchmen guys. They can all go and fuck this guy too. They, again, are arc characters that I just never, ever, my multiple times going through Skypiea, I never cared about those guys. Aside from the backstory, where I cared about the, sort of the natives of the Sky Island. I cared about them, and I cared about, that whole story. But, like, Wiper and these guys particularly, not really so much. I thought their designs were a little on the lamer side, and Wiper is just an embarrassing name. Don't even remember this guy. I kind of remember her, but again, she's forgettable. I don't even know if she has any speaking lines. And is that Isa? Is that the older Isa? Isa was pretty good. She can be in C tier. She can be with Gonfall. Then we have the head of the Shambhalans, was it? Something like that? He can go in he can go in B tier. Again, I thought his and Nolan's story was actually pretty cool. So they can go in B tier. Plus, there's we learned so much about Nolan with the Tontada and everything. So there's still some more that could be done with his character. Old guy. Was he from Longring Longland? If so, I don't even remember him particularly. We got the long horse, though. Long Hans. He goes in D tier, just for being memeable. If that's what I think it is. We got Foxy. I always loved every single Foxy filler arc. The filler arcs in One Piece were so good. Honestly, I feel like what Buggy is to most other people, Foxy kind of is to me. The dude is just such a good comedy villain and character. Not really as good as Buggy, but honestly, I'm just throwing my man in S tier. He deserves it. We have Portia. Bruh, little kid, like teenage me, simped so hard for Portia. That like open front, like bodysuit or whatever, simped so hard. A tier. A tier for the simping. This guy, the guy that Sanji kicked in the face, all I remember him for is Sanji kicking him in the face. Sanji kicked the guy all the way to fuck this guy tier. Gosh, Kuzan. Kuzan's a character I've never known what to think about. Because I'm always like, fuck this guy when it comes to Kuzan, because the guy had a choice. The guy didn't have to go along with all the Navy's bullshit, and he chose, again, to be a dog of the state. He went along with what happened to O'Hara and just said, oh, well, I'm just going to commit war crimes, haha. I saved one little girl, so that makes up for all the war crimes I let happen because I didn't care enough to try to fight against them. So yeah, actually, you know what? Fuck this guy. He's kind of cool, though. But fuck this guy, but he's kind of cool. He's going in D tier. A lot of people are going to hate me for that. But yeah, everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's so sweet. He saved Robin and everything. And I'm like, fuck no, he killed Saul. He killed Saul and went along with whatever the government wanted. Like, he could have killed Luffy if he didn't just randomly decide not to. Fuck the guy. Chimney and the Rabbit. I remember them being a little annoying, but not that bad. Plus, they take part in, like, one of the best arcs ever. So, they can go in D tier. They don't have to go and fuck this guy tier. Same with Lady Kokoro. Put some respect on her. She came through and saved him and everything, too. The frog. What was his name? Yokozuna or something? Yeah, he also gets to be in D tier. Just because, like, he was part of a cool arc, even though he's, like, a nothing character. Iceberg is kind of a nothing character. But you know what? Some of Iceberg's speeches were a bit cool. C tier. Again, might be doing some serious reconstructing and reordering when we get back. You know, I'm going to split this into... Part 1 is going to be the pre-time skip characters. Then I'm going to do some part 2 will be reordering and post-time skip characters. Maybe I'll split it that way. Just so it's like 2 1-hour videos instead of 1 2-hour just insanity video. I don't know. Or maybe I will just make it a 2-hour video. Hell if I know. You know what? Screw it. I kind of want to put it together in one video, but I might record it in 2 separate parts. I don't know what I'm doing right now. There's this guy, the Freddie Mercury looking guy. His joke was never all that funny to me, but his design is kind of funny. B tier, C tier, D tier. I mean, yeah, D tier for now. D tier for now. Might move him around a bit though, just because, you know, I don't know, kind of like his design, and again, he's part of one of the funniest and most epic and most emotional, just one of the best arcs. Same goes for this guy and Polly. I can just throw him there. I kind of wanted so much more from Polly, but he ended up doing not really much of anything. Rob Lucci is big goated, one of the best villains. He's really cool. If he had a little bit more personality, I might put him in S tier, but he's a little bland, I'll admit. A little bland. Again, a lot of these A and B and S tiers might get a little bit mixed up when I do some reordering. We got the pigeon. I think his name is like Hattori or something, maybe. D tier, he's just a pigeon. Then we got Haku. I think is his name's whatever. C tier. Had some alright fights and everything. It's kind of a goofy comedic type character. Bluno had a cool Devil Fruit ability, cool fight with Luffy, also gonna throw in C tier. Khalifa, sort of same deal, I loved her fight with Nami. She might be the closest to me thinking B tier out of those 3 though. Just because she had a cool Devil Fruit, cool fight with Nami. Jabra, I'm throwing Jabra up in B tier though. I really, really, really liked him. So, yeah, and of course we could see him, we could see more of these characters again, when we get into the CP0 stuff. There's the guy that Chopper beat. He was aight. Again, I don't really want to rate any of the CP9 members too low. They were all pretty enjoyable, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna stick him in C tier. Same with Fukudo, right? That was his name? They can all go in C tier. I think to me that's a really fair place to put all of them. Okay, I'll be really real with you guys. I don't remember this guy at all. I don't remember him. I think he was just some government guy, but I do not remember him. So fuck this guy tier. Spandam is not gonna go and fuck this guy tier. He's gonna go all the way up in B tier with Jabra, just because he is a great villain. Spandam's a great villain. Then we have Elephant Sword. Yeah, I don't really care about the Elephant Sword at all. Actually, D tier, again, just because it's kind of memey. The Frankie family. They really mistreated Usopp and the others, though. And they didn't do much during the arc. But again, they were part of one of the better arcs. D tier. All of them get to... Kiwi and Mozu, too. All get to go in D tier. Tom is great. If Belmair's going in C tier, I can't put him any higher than C tier either. But again, I might be reorganizing some of them. We got Sodom and Gomorrah. They really put in work during Eniya's lobby. So out of respect, I was going to say C tier, but I really can't put them higher than the Galila guys, you know? Even though I really did like them a lot. Actually, you know what? I can. Sodom and Gomorrah, C tier. I don't know. They put in a lot of work. They hauled ass. They got beat the hell up. They had some funny comedic scenes. They were a big part of a good arc. The rollerbladey guy right here. That guy. Honestly, fuck that guy. I always forget he exists. And like his fight with Sanji is pretty good and everything. I'm pretty sure he fights Sanji, right? But at the same time, I'm always like, fuck this guy. Alright, we have the giant guys. Again, they're not really... They're a little bit more memorable to me than Dory and Brogy, but not by much. So, I don't even remember their names, so that shows how much I remember. They can go in D tier with Dory and Brogy for now. This guy, I don't remember... what was his name? Is it T-Bone? Was that his name? He was cool, though. He tried his best. C tier. Tried his best. C for effort. Oh, the Clover guy. Okay, yeah. Robin never really got included or felt... Well, no, that's not right. I was gonna say she wasn't really included as much with all of her people, and that's why she ran off and made friends with Saul and everything. But really, they were pretty nice to her. I don't... Clover guy, where should... He'll just go in D tier. He isn't that special to me. Compared to, like, Saul, who to me is one of the best flashback characters. Saul's going in S tier. Like, one of the best flashback characters. She. I loved this guy. Robin's mom as well. I think I can throw in A tier. Not as good as Saul, but still. I mean, Saul was the real parent here to Robin. But either way. Now we have all these military goons who are just lame-ass military goons. And is that Momonga? Is that his name? Momongus? Momonga can go C tier because the stuff with them later on with like, gosh, what's her name? With like Hancock and everything's really, really funny. So they can go up into C tier. The rest of these nobodies, that's like the Spider Devil Fruit guy. I don't remember that one. Is that the one that could bust apart into balls or something? I don't remember. These guys can go and fuck this guy tier though. Because they're just, again, government dogs. Garp, again, faces that same sort of issue in just, like, at some point you see, like, here's the thing. The world government in One Piece, it's like, I can't give Marines that much of, like, leeway in saying, like, you know what, they're just trying to fight and defend people from bloodthirsty pirates, because the world government is, like, openly, overtly horrible. they commit atrocities, like, constantly. So I can't really give people that work for the Marines or anything that much benefit of the doubt. But even so, Garp is Garp, you know. At least B tier. At least top of B tier. If not A. We'll see what happens. I used to like Garp even more, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, the dude's part, or at least was part, of the Marines. So kinda fuck him for that one, you know? We have the Sunny. The Sunny's aight. The Sunny's just not the Mary, you know? The Sunny has never made that connection with me like the Mary has. I'm gonna even go all the way down to B tier. I preferred the Mary's design. The Sunny's aight. Yeah, it's just never really made that emotional connection with me, and it's been like our main ship for so long. Then we've got Gecko Moria, who I always liked as an arc villain. It's pretty alright. I'm gonna say at least B tier. You know what? Looking at B tier, I'm gonna go A tier. I like Moria a lot. And we have interesting stuff going on now with Moria and Blackbeard, so it's gonna be cool to see where that goes. We've got Absalom. Rip my man. Rip my man. But he was pretty dope in Thriller Bark. I'm gonna throw him in C tier. Perona's great. Really like Perona. I'm gonna put her in A tier for now, but we'll see where things go. Then we have Dr. Hogback was his name, I believe. Yeah, that guy was annoying. But he was a really interesting villain as part of that arc, so D tier. Might even move up to C. We'll see when I restructure. We have Zombie Cinderichan. That was what her name was. She can go in C tier. She was pretty interesting again as part of the arc. Kinda wish we got more into like a sadder, better backstory with her than just what we got, but even what we got was a solid backstory and a solid little side part of the arc. Now we've got Oars. Oars was really funny as Luffy and Oars' body, but just Oars on his own wasn't particularly anything that memorable. So, I don't know, I like the big fight with like all the Straw Hats against Oars. I'm gonna say C tier for now, but Oars might drop to D tier. I don't remember this little gargoyle guy that much. So unless I'm remembering something incorrectly, I'm just tossing him into fuck this guy tier. We've got, was it Kumachi? Was that his name? Or Kumagoro? Something like that. Funny part of the arc. So D tier. Also, like, RIP them. They went through a lot in Thriller Bark. We have Ryuma, who is really cool. Still makes you think, wow. You know what, actually? This is so interesting. Because thinking about Ryuma then, so we know that, that Moria lost his crew fighting against Kaido in the New World. So Moria made it all the way to Wano then, was able to get Ryuma's body, Ryuma who's like a huge part of Wano culture, and like even his sword and everything. So that's really cool. Hypes up Moria even more. But yeah, Ryuma's really cool, at least B tier, if not A. At least B tier. Hopefully we get to learn even more about them, even though Wano is kind of like really underway at this point, and we haven't gotten like super deep into any more about them. Lola's pretty cool. I always really like Lola going back and rewatching or rereading. So at least B tier. His name's Yorkie, right? Brooks Captain. I always really like him too. I'm gonna say at least C tier for now. Again, if Tom and Belmare are here, I don't really think I would put him higher. Papa Goo was always really annoying to me. Yeah, he was always really annoying, but not like F tier annoying, not that bad, but yeah, it was always annoying. But I think one of the reasons that he's not in F tier is just that Sabaodi's a really solid arc. Kami, again, a little annoying, but Not that bad. Uh, I I kind of want to put her in C tier, but she might drop to D tier when we reorder. Freaking God, what was his name? Why am I blanking on his name? Duval. Freaking Duval. I love Duval. B tier at least, if not A tier. I love Duval. Duval came in clutch in somebody a lot of times. Fuck this guy. I don't even totally remember his name, but fuck him. Uh, what was her name again? Sharky? Shaki? She's pretty cool. The only thing with her is I really want to look. I'm gonna put her in C. She's kind of like Shanks in a way. I'm gonna put her in B tier for now because I really, really liked what we saw of her. But she's in a situation where I really want to see more. I really want to see more of what she's got going. Beige, I love. I get so, like I'm currently Beige is going in A tier for now. I'm currently trying to catch up to the anime. I'm caught up to the manga and everything and have been for a while, but I fell out of the anime about 2 or 3 years ago toward the end of Whole Cake, and Beige is just so good in Whole Cake. Like every time I see him show up again in the anime, I'm like, Beige, yes. I'm like, I never, and another thing that makes me like him more is I never would have thought I would feel that way about him. When we got introduced to all of the supernovas in Sabati, he was always like the most forgettable one. He was the one where I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be bottom of the pack. But no, I really, really enjoy him now. Again, we're using this picture, eh, of Bonnie. Well, I'm going to put Bonnie in like A tier with the potential to move up to S tier. And I think my reasons why are the same reason why that a lot of you probably have. Like, a lot of you probably love her character in the same way that I love her character. Um, you know, she's got a lot of special things going on. And yeah, we're going to move on to the next character. Next, we've got Hawkins, who I really like, but Wano, like, on one hand, Wano has been doing him favors because his devil fruit's really, really cool. On the other hand, it hasn't been doing him favors because he's been taking L's a little too much. I'm going to throw him in A tier for now, just because, again, I still love his design and really like him. But he's a little bit tenuous right now. Kid is dope. I really, really like Kid. Kid might go in S tier for now. I love Kid. I think the difference maker here is like when Kid gets a sad flashback, it's over. He's going up to like rooftop tier probably. I really, really, really like him, but compared to Luffy and Law, he just doesn't have that sad backstory yet. That's the missing spice that he's missing right now. We got Killer. Killer is good. Killer is good. I like his story in Wano a whole hell of a lot. He's going in A tier for right now. I realize I'm throwing a lot of the supernovas up there, actually. But all the supernovas are good. We'll see where they go. Ooh, Scratchman. Scratchman is always like the most disrespected of the supernovas, I feel like. Which is fair, because he's kind of a bitch. Kind of a traitor. His devil fruit's really cool, though, honestly. B tier. Drake, I have always loved Drake, and now we learn he's the head of sword. S tier. I want to see so much more out of him, though. Though, he didn't get to the rooftop. Unlike Kid and Law and Killer, Zoro and Luffy didn't get to the rooftop in canon. But we have Mad D Monk Uruge. You know what? Uruge is pretty dope. I like Uruge a lot. I want to see so much more. Gonna put him in A tier for right now. Law, incredible. One of the best characters. I'm gonna put him in double S tier for now. Gonna hold off on rooftop tier. He might work his way up to rooftop tier when we reorder. Not sure. But at least for right now, double S tier. Seems fair to me. Beppo is also just funny, nice as a crewmate character. Gonna throw him in B tier. Like, a lot of people really love Beppo. He's aight to me. Rayleigh, really so cool. Rayleigh's a really great mentor character. A tier for now. Thinking about S tier. Thinking about it. You know what? S tier for now. Might drop down to A, but S tier for now. I like Rayleigh a lot. Then, though I don't know about putting Rayleigh so far above Shaki, I might move Shaki up to A. We'll see. We'll see. Kizaru is really cool. Here's the thing. I complained about so many other characters being like, oh, they're government dogs, they're Marines. But that's characters that I feel like Oda is trying to write to make us sympathetic for or to care about. And I'm like, you know, I can't be but so sympathetic for them when they're fighting to preserve the status quo of a really, really fucked up system. But with Kizaru, it's okay, because I don't feel like we're supposed to feel sorry for Kizaru. He's a douchebag, and we're supposed to feel like he's a douchebag. And with that in mind, it makes him a more compelling villain. And he's a very compelling villain. He might go into S tier, at least A for right now. I just remember in Marineford, his just little brief, tiny little fight with Marco being just a scene that blew my mind. It was one of my favorite things in the series at that point. I forget their name. Forget their name. Their ability's pretty cool though. It's like they did, what's it called, like Ryuo before Ryuo was even really a thing. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna put him in C tier for now. Sentomaru, that's it, right? Sentomaru? Something like that. Hancock, I think a lot of you people out there, you're thinking with your penises. You know? She's really overrated. I'm going to say B tier. A lot of you really just thinking with things other than your brain, overrating this character. Now that said, we're going to simp for Sandersonia in this household, so she gets to be an A tier. Alright, now Marigold gets to be in like D tier because she's like the least cool and also the least simpable. Again, you know, if Sandersonia wasn't a simpable, if Hancock wasn't a simpable, all these people voting for Hancock in the worldwide thing to make her into the top 10, if she, like, you don't care about her character, you just care about her looks. If she looked like Marigold, she would be in D tier. I guarantee you wouldn't be voting for her. I'm calling you out. And then I'm also doing the same thing and simping for Sandersonia. So yeah, we got the snake guy. It's just a snake. C tier, because I mean, you all have probably seen the kind of artwork I've seen of Hancock, so I mean, hey. We got this chick. She was funny. During the Amazon Lily arc. B tier. This video has turned so degenerate so quickly with Amazon Lily. I feel like the series turned that way in Amazon Lily too. There was a lot more penis touching in that arc than there had been in any other arc. We have, what was her name again? Marguerite. I'm not going to lie to you. When I hear people talk about all the things they love about Boa Hancock, all I think about is how Marguerite is also those things, but better. Let's not forget, Hancock, like, kicks puppies and shit. Yeah, B tier. Yeah, I'm gonna disrespect your waifu. I'm calling you out here. Oh, we got Merlin with the drip. I don't know if that's actually his name, but can't have drip like that and be any lower than, like, any lower than B tier. Look at this man. Got Hercules and Heracles and he's pretty cool. I'd actually like to learn more about him. C tier. Learn more about him, learn more about Usopp's training and stuff. You know, I'd be intrigued by that. C tier. Like, why was he so cool and all that? Either way. We got Magellan, who's really dope. Magellan's super cool. I feel like some people don't respect him enough. Some people probably respect him too much. Then again, he did get defeated by IBS, but I bet a lot of us have also been where he's been too. You just get defeated by your tummy rumbles. B tier. Ah, fuck Hannibal. Fuck that guy. Oh, we have this chick. The only thing I remember about her is that she was attractive. D tier. Oh, the little pitchfork guy. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't really have much character, did he? Sadi-chan? C tier for, you know, I mean, why else? Why else? Ivankov. I love Ivankov, actually. Ivankov's going at least A tier, if not S tier. Just like Kizaru, might move up to S tier. I love Ivankov. Oh, I really love, I forget, Ina something, Inazuka? Something like that? Why am I forgetting their name? Oh, I love them too. A tier. Not like moving on the verge to S tier, A tier, but I also really, really like them. Their devil fruit powers and the way they use them are dope too. We've got Shiryu. Again, carrying on the Blackbeard crew tradition of being mid, but not as bad as some of the others. I'm gonna throw him in C tier. He's like one of the actual interesting ones that actually has a little bit of story going on. More story than probably any other member of Blackbeard's crew. Then we have Akainu. Akainu is a very divisive character, I feel like, where a lot of people would rate him really highly because they're like, oh hell yeah, he's a cool-ass villain. And a lot of people would rate him incredibly lowly because they're like, you know, fuck that guy. And I can see both arguments. I do think he's a great villain, but him being a villain, I don't root for him whatsoever, like at all. It's not like Crocodile where I'm like, yeah, he was a terrific villain, but he's also a character that I think is cool, and I want to see Oda write more cool stuff for him. With Akainu, I'm like, yeah, he's going to be a villain later on, but I'm not like, oh boy, Oda, write me some more Akainu content right now. So that being said, let's just toss the guy into like C tier, because again, I'm torn. Again, like, I think he's a great villain. On the other hand, fuck the guy. Marco, one of my absolute favorites, and now we're finally seeing more of him again. I hope we get to see even more than what we've already seen. Actually, when I thought of my top 5, I left out Marco. Marco might be top 5 for me. Marco is great. Yeah, again, just the one little teeny little fight scene we saw with him and Kizaru, and I was just like, oh man, he's my favorite character. And I'm like, One Piece has so many great characters with so many great stories, and I'm just like, yep, this guy's my favorite. And that's how I was for like a long time as like a teenager. So now we have Jozu, right? Yeah, Jozu. Jozu's cool. I feel like a lot of the Whitebeard pirates are cool. I'm just trying to see, where did I put Whitebeard? Did I put him in A tier? Yeah. Yeah, that's good for him. So I think B tier is good for Jozu. Vista, I think similarly. I actually might like Vista a little bit more than Jozu, but they're both really cool. I really like both. Izo, again, I really, really like Izo, and we get more backstory for Izo with Wano. So Izo, to me, it's going to be maybe B tier, but I'm just going to leave him there for now. Again, when I do some restructuring between the pre and post time skip characters and I go through and restructure a bit, I'm going to maybe move Izo up a bit. Now we have, what was that guy? That was, what was this guy? SP, Squaldo? Squald? Squardo? Something like that. You know, I really liked his story. The way that he fucked up, he was tricked, he was fooled, but in the end, like a family, he and Blackbeard were able to make up and to move forward. And actually, this is making me like Whitebeard a lot more, remembering that scene and storyline. I really loved that. You know, it was a really cool part of Marineford, and just added into why the arc is so incredible. Then we've got Oars Jr. was really, really amazing as well. Poor Ors Jr., RIP, I guess. I'm assuming they're, you know. Um, B tier for now. Again, might have to think about that a little bit more. Is that Vasco Shot? Or is that Vasco Shot? That's not Vasco Shot. That's somebody else. I don't remember. Again, more just mid Blackbeard pirates. Throw them in D tier with the others. Same with Katarina, San Juan Wolf. That's Vasco Shot, I think. Actually, he's just really dopey looking. He can go and fuck this guy tier. Like, they don't look like threats. They just look so lame. I can throw these two and fuck this guy tier too. He at least looks kind of cool. He can stay in D tier with some of the other kind of decent looking ones. But yeah, Blackbeard's crew has never looked scary to me. They've always just looked dopey. We've got Brownbeard. Wow, Brownbeard coming in early. He was whatever. He was interesting enough. Dudon. Right? Right? Dudon? That was her name? I actually really, really like her a lot. I love her reaction and everything to what happened with Ace and stuff too. Yeah. Do I put her in A tier? B tier. She was a good mom for Luffy and them, really. Then we got Sabo. I've never been a big Sabo guy. Plus he's part of the Revolutionaries and they're a big old snooze fest to me. So, he's not awful. He's just no Ace to me. Basically, his character to me just feels like replacement Ace, but Ace was cool. Ace had drip. Ace was a part of the Whitebeard Pirates. And then we get to Sabo and it's like, oh, he's Dragon's bitch boy? He's a revolutionary? So yeah, C tier. Replacement Ace, but not as good as Ace. This is the guy from the flashback, right? The guy that they fought in the flashback? He's a lame-ass pirate that could only beat up little kids. Fuck this guy. Stelly, right? I love the idea of him coming back into the story with the Reverie and everything. So D tier just for the continuity. This guy, Kong, right? D tier just because we've seen like nothing of him. And I didn't really care when we saw the very little of him we did see. And I'm pretty sure he got like immediately like, oh wait, no, he's still in charge, right? He didn't get replaced by Akainu. It was Sengoku that got replaced by Akainu. So yeah, I don't know, D tier. Then we're getting into the post-time skip characters. So in order to not completely wear out my throat, I really want to talk about these characters though. Not completely wear out my energy. What I'm going to do is going to go through and maybe order these guys a little bit more, and then I'll take a break, come back and record the second half of this, and when I record the second half of this, I'm just going to edit it on to the back end, so you're going to see it as one super long movie-length video, even though I'm recording it in two separate parts. Just letting you all know what's going on. You know what? I'm actually going to restructure a little bit off screen just to save some time and just because it's going to be boring me just looking at these guys and moving them up and down. And if there are any big changes or anything, I'll discuss them when I start recording part 2. So without further ado, I don't have any sponsors, or I would make a joke and say now for a word from our sponsors, but I will see you all in like a moment I'll see you all in a moment as I come back to record part 2, I guess, transition. And we're back into things. So yeah, like I said, I took a break just a second ago during that cut to get some food, rest up my voice a little, and now we're back for the New World characters. But also, while I was gone, I did kind of, like I said I would, I went through and I ordered all of the characters in each tier in order. So I'm just gonna scroll a little so you can see them. And for characters that I moved up or down a tier, I actually kept a changelog, except for F tier, because I'm like, F tier is just for like, I don't like them, just throw them in there. I was like, there's no point in ordering them. But yeah, for characters whose tier changed, I moved the little dog cannon guy. Don't remember its name or anything. I moved it down to the F tier. Then I moved Kami and Cobra both down to D tier from C. I moved Gen up from D tier to C tier, moved Sindri down to D tier, T-Bone down to D, Miss Doublefinger down to D, Laboon down to D, and then moving up so you can see C tier and B tier there. I moved Gonfall up to B tier. I was underrating him a little bit. Lola down to C tier. Miss Golden Week down to C tier. Don't know why I had her in B, honestly. I was way too high with her ranking. Moved Chaka down to C, even though I really like him. And I think when I was recording the first half, I called him Dondo Chaka. That's the little hollow guy from Bleach. I moved Apu down to C tier. It makes me sad to say it. I don't want to put like a supernova that low or whatever, but yeah, Apu just is Devil Fruit's cool, but other than that, Apu's kind of the weaker one, which is not what I would have guessed when we were first introduced to them, how I would end up liking their characters. Then, scrolling up so you can see B and A tier, I moved Kobe down to B tier, Mr. 5 down to B tier. I had him rated really highly, even though I do like Mr. 5 a lot. Olivia down to B tier, Porche down to B tier. I was again letting the horny take over a little bit too much. Hachi moved down to B tier, kind of tentatively, and I actually moved Spandam up to A tier. Because, like, looking back through and ordering these characters, I thought to myself, like, looking at them and everything, I was like, honestly, Spandam's a really good One Piece villain. See, I really actually love Spandam a lot as a villain, so I moved him up to A tier. I moved Herolook down from double S tier to S tier. Oh no, such a dramatic lowering of your rank into S tier. And I moved Marco up to the rooftop. I really like, we haven't even seen that much Marco, but there's just something about him that I'm like, oh hell yeah, this guy's the best. So that's where we are right now. Again, now I'm going to rank the New World characters, the post-time skip characters. Once I do that, though, I might take another jump cut just to do the same thing again and reorder them within the tiers, and then just do a little discussion at the end after that jump cut of any changes that might have happened. But yeah, also, Sandersonia remaining in A. I thought more about the stuff I said about her and Boa, and I was like, Hancock, and I was like, you know what? The two of them, all the things that I like about Hancock's character, and there is a lot I like about her character, but like, I'm like, Sandersonia shares all the things I like about Hancock's character, except for the horny factor, and she has a higher horny factor. So, that's where we are. But starting with Caribou in the post-time skip, I actually like Caribou. We saw a little teeny bit of him in Wano, but I don't think we've seen him in Onigashima, have we? If we have, I don't remember it. So he's off doing something at this point. I actually want to put him in C tier for now. Yeah, I'll put him in C tier for now. I think that's fair. I don't know if he's really worth moving up to B tier, you know what I mean? We have the Kraken. Oh, I forget what Luffy and them called the Kraken. I forget what they named it. But yeah, it's just kind of a random whatever. It's not annoying, but I mean, it's not like a real fleshed out character either, you know what I mean? I'm gonna put it bottom of D tier for now. But yeah, I'm thinking that's fair. I might even just throw it in fuck this guy tier, just because it's like, it was around so little in the story that I really don't have much of any feeling towards it at all. And that's another thing with these post-time skip characters. I'm going to be torn between like some of them, with them being so new in the series that I'm like, they really don't have that great history with me that some of the older characters do. I haven't gone back and read the arcs that they're in a bunch of times. so I don't have that deep new connection. But some of them I might be placing too high because they are new, and it's just that that novelty factor that has me ranking them that highly. Neptune, kinda not a big fan actually. I'm going to be nice and put him in D tier, but I'm not a big fan. His two sons that I don't remember their names, I think that one's Fukuboshi, right? Or Fukuhoshi? The blue-haired one. I'm going to put him in D tier as well, because I at least remember him. He had like a decent design. These two I remember being annoying as hell, though. So yeah, annoyance factor, they get dropped down there. Shirahoshi's not bad. I think some people dislike Shirahoshi. I'm not sure, but I actually liked her. Not a ton, but enough to put in C tier, I think. Charlie, though. Oof. I am big simping for Charlie. Big simping for our long sister. B tier. Big simping here with B tier. Grandma Hody Jones. I'm gonna put Grandma in D tier. Just, man. Hody was a really, I don't want to say a bad villain, because the fight with Luffy was really cool and all. It's just that One Piece villains are such a high caliber. Like, it's such a big thing to be compared to. It's like, when you become a One Piece villain, you're going to be compared to, like, Crocodile, Doflamingo, Enel, Arlong, all these other characters. So when you come along and you're not that great, like, you're going to look even worse. Even though I thought the fight with him was cool, I'm not a big fan at all. That and Fishman Island is an arc that I didn't really like very much, just because Fishman Island was, I think, my first arc that I ever watched week to week with the anime. The rest I would just, like, marathon a bit, stop watching a bit, marathon a bit, stop watching a bit. Fishman Island was the first one I tried to watch, like, week to week, and it was just so long. And it's one thing for an arc to be super, super long, but also, like, really good, like Thriller Bark, or to have some of the most important moments in the series, like Dressrosa, which was still way too long, but you get what I mean. But for an arc to be meh and super long, yeah, Fishman Island just did not do it for me. I can probably put most of Hody's guys in the fuck this guy tier, because they were just jobbers to show how strong the Straw Hats had gotten. The little camouflagey Squidward guy, though, might go in D tier. Just, I don't know, he's kind of neat. So, might keep him out of fuck this guy tier. The swordsman guy. Yeah, he's going in fuck this guy tier. I didn't really like the swordsman guy. His voice. Could not stand his voice. Fuck this guy tier. That's the guy who could throw things. Yeah, fuck this guy tier. Fisher Tiger is dope. I really like Fisher Tiger's flashback and story. B tier at least. At least B tier. I might change that, but I feel like A tier is already kind of crowded. I feel like I already might have too many in A tier. Again, even though One Piece characters are great, I kind of want the higher tiers to be special, you know? Otohime was really good too. I did like her flashback. But with her, it was more of her ideas and stuff like that that were really cool than her actual character. I think Fisher Tiger was the more interesting character to read because of his flaws and everything, and all the great things he did. I'm gonna put her in C tier for now. I think C tier is fair for her. Maybe even D, but I think C is better. Because I liked her story a lot for how it influences Jinbei. I think that's the really big important thing for me with Otohime. Also, like, her death scene was, like, really, really sad. It got me. It got me caught up all in my caught up all in my feels. So, yeah, I don't know. She was good, but not, like, that great. I don't particularly think of Otohime as, like, this amazing character. Koala I really like. Actually, Koala might be A tier, because I loved Koala's part in the flashback with Fisher Tiger's crew, and I was like, yeah, we're probably never gonna see her again. It is what it is, but it would be so cool if we ever saw her again. And then we straight up did, and she was part of the Revolutionaries, and even though I don't like the Revolutionaries, like, it was so cool. It was so cool to see her sort of carrying on after her experiences with Fisher Tiger. I thought that was so cool. We have Aladdin. I really, really like him. Mostly for like, I'm gonna put him in C tier. Like, I do like him. Not so much for anything before Whole Cake, because he didn't really have any character at all before Whole Cake, but he was cool in cool in Whole Cake. Um, Mostly I liked Praline though. I feel like Praline kind of did a bit more than him, but that one scene, especially in the anime when he's going up against Oven, just looks really, really, really cool. So then we've got I do not remember who this is. He's some sort of celestial dragon by the looks of it, but I legitimately do not remember who this is. I'm gonna throw him in fuck this guy tier because he's a celestial dragon, so I feel like that's fair, you know what I mean? I feel like that's fair, even though, yeah, I'm gonna be straight up, I don't remember who he is. Was he somebody from the flashbacks, maybe? He might have been a character from the flashbacks. Peckhams, I really do not like very much. Not enough to put them in fuck this guy tier, but I'm not a big Peckhams fan. Also not a big Tamago fan, but just the memes of the way he talks in the anime, the swar is so good. So yeah, I'm actually gonna keep him out of fuck this guy tier. We have Mocha up next. Mocha's a character that I feel like I always forget about until I come back to looking at Punk Hazard stuff, and I really liked Punk Hazard, and then I remember her and I'm like, oh yeah, she was a really cool art character. I feel like if she was an art character in like one of the early arcs, she would be like really well remembered. But being post time skip when we've already seen so much, and there's already so much like really hype, huge stuff going on, she doesn't get as much attention. But I think she was a really good art character. I'll put her in B tier for now. We have Monet. I love Monet. Monet's Devil Fruit was great. All the fights with her, with Luffy, and then with Zoro, even though the Zoro thing wasn't even much of a fight, honestly, were incredibly good. I loved her design. Her design is like one of my favorite One Piece designs. Just the harpy look is so cool. And yeah, like I mentioned, her Devil Fruit is one of my favorite Devil Fruits in the series. I think between her Devil Fruit and maybe Doflamingos, one of those two might be my favorites in the series. We have Caesar. Shurororororo, shurorororo. I remember first watching Punk Hazard and being so annoyed by Caesar Clown because we just hung on scenes of him for forever, and all we heard was his laugh over and over, and I was like, oh my god, his voice is so grating at this point, I can't stand him. But then as time went along, it's again, I guess that meme factor. As time went along, I started finding his just presence in the story funnier and funnier until eventually we're in Whole Cake and he's a gangster Gastino, and I just thought he was hilarious. So I'm honestly gonna put him in B tier. I love when a character does that though. When I start off hating a character and over time I just start sort of liking them over time. Now we have the axolotl fruit slime thing. Wasn't really much of a character. Once again, the fight with it was pretty neat, I guess. I guess I can put it in D tier for that, unless I'm forgetting more about it. But yeah, I feel like it was just pretty simple and straightforward. Not a big fan. A lot of people really, really love Virgo. But Virgo never really did much of anything for me. Didn't really think it was that cool. The only thing cool about him is the amazing Law killing him scene. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say C or D tier. I don't know. I'm gonna throw him top of D for now. For now. Might move up. Kinemon's super underrated. I was so surprised looking at the character pull stuff. When Kinemon was like 92nd, and he's been such an important character in Wano/Onigashima, I was like, holy crap, people really aren't that into Kinemon, but I think he's been really cool. Like, I've liked him as like a side character, and he's been around for arcs now. I'm gonna throw him in B tier. So yeah, I just think he's a really underrated one. Now we have Momo. Momo is a good character, but incredibly, extremely annoying. It's one of those things where, like, when I think about the story critically, I'm like, I like Momo's role in the story. I think he's a good character. When I'm actually watching or reading a chapter or an episode, I just think, man, this kid is annoying. He has the Inari from Naruto syndrome, the, like I always say, the kid in a shonen manga syndrome. He has it very much, and sort of like, I guess Koda from Hero Academia is not that bad, but yeah, I think more so Momo's kind of even more grating because he's like a part of the main story and he's around so much. But yeah, Momo is hella annoying. I don't know if I want. Throwing him in F tier is a little too much, though. He's just annoying. Like, it's not like he's a terrible character or anything. Um, Baby 5. You know, I do like Baby 5, not all that much. I can throw Baby 5 in C tier. She might get knocked down to D tier, honestly. A lot of people really like her, I think. Like, that's the impression I get just from, like, fan discussions and everything, and doing One Piece videos for this long. I kind of feel like people do enjoy her. But yeah, Baby 5, not really as much for me. This guy's going in fuck this guy tier. I don't even remember what even happened to this guy. I don't even remember his name, the propeller guy. But I remember him and Baby 5 coming to Punk Hazard at the end. But I honestly don't remember him and Dressrosa at all. Did Doflamingo just clap him or something? Yeah, I really don't remember this guy. Or no, maybe it was it the explodey devil fruit guy, Gladius or whatever? Did he, for some reason I remember him attacking him for some reason maybe? I don't remember what happened to this guy, except that I could not stand him. And then, for like all these characters that have been like, there haven't been a lot of great characters yet, post time skip, we get Fujitora, which not only, I'm going to put him in top of A tier for now. Might move up to S, but top of A. I've said a lot about not liking a lot of the Marine characters, dogs of the government and all that, and even when they have, like, morals, their morals seem kind of shallow when they're protecting the world government, who is, like, again, overtly done horrible, disgusting, terrible things. Like these Marine characters are just protecting this agency that out in the open has done just horrible things. So it kind of makes their morality seem a little bit hollow, but I love Fujitora's version of that morality. I think his makes the most sense out of pretty much any Marine character we've seen in terms of him, like, being a character that exists in shades of gray. The things that he is, like, willing to do, like, dark side of the world wise, in order to, again, in his mind, try to protect innocent people, is really, really good. And how he says, you know, this is what I'm doing physically, but it's not exactly what I want to do or what I think is best. Fujitora is a character where it's like, I can be like, okay, I don't always agree with this character's morality, but though I don't always agree with it, I think it's really well written. So yeah, big fan of Fujitora. Then we have Viola. Oh my, Viola's like really popular somehow. I do not like her at all. I thought she was really annoying in Dressrosa. I'm glad she ended up becoming pretty much queen though, rather than Rebecca. I feel like that's a good fitting way to end her story and everything. Like, I guess I don't hate her that much, but I think she's extremely overrated, extremely not very good. Not F tier though. She's totally not F tier, but I don't like her. So that's where I'm at. Like, she is not so bad that she's F tier, but I also do not like her. Kiros, I really do like a lot. Kiros could be at least B tier, maybe moving up to A tier. I'll put him at the top of B. I like Kiros a lot, but then again, this makes me think, again, coming across all these characters that I haven't thought about for a couple arcs now. Kiddos I liked during Dressrosa a lot, but now that I'm thinking about him, like 4 or 5 arcs in the future, I'm like, yeah, I could go without seeing Kiddos again. Um, this guy, don't even remember his name. I thought he was annoying. Um, then Chinjiao. Chinjiao's pretty cool. Who you call him, Pinhead? Uh, C tier. I do like Chinjiao. Don Sai, actually one of my favorite Dressrosa art characters. I like Sai a lot. Sai can go top of B tier for now. Might be moving into A tier. I feel like I'm weighting Sai a bit heavy though, because of the anime, when his fight with Loud G was just so much more incredible than it made even any sense for it to be. Like, it was so good. Why was his fight with Loud G so good? Um, yeah, that's where I'm throwing him. Next up we got Boo, who is kinda just sort of bland. He's not as good as Baby Five or Chinjiao, but he isn't bad either. I'll throw him top of D tier. Um, yo, King something. Oh, I forget his name. Oh, I'm forgetting his name for some reason. Something with an R, maybe? But I actually really liked him, even though I'm forgetting his name. So, C tier. We have Suleiman. I'm actually a big Suleiman fan. I'm super, super glad he joined the Grand Fleet. Uh, A tier seems a bit high. I'll throw him in B tier for now because A seems a bit high, but I'm almost tempted to throw him in A tier. I like Suleiman a lot. Abdullah and Jeet were actually surprised. Like, when we first got introduced to them, I didn't think too much of them, but like, they were actually really, really fun art characters. I'm thinking. I was thinking about B tier, but then I see characters that I have in C, like Akainu and some of these other characters, and I'm like, you know what? It would probably not be right to put them in B tier. So Abdullah and Jeet get to go in C tier for now. We have Orlumbus, who I like, kind of the blandest of the Grand Fleet leaders. Um, I'll probably throw him in C tier because of that, hoping we get to see a lot more of him. Then we have Cavendish, who I really, really, really like. Excited to see a lot more of Cavendish in the future. Gonna throw Cavendish. I don't know if I should do B or A tier again, like with Suleiman. I actually think I'm gonna throw him and Suleiman both in A tier. I really like them. I really do. Rebecca, a lot of people hated Rebecca during Dressrosa, but I never disliked her. I don't think I should put her higher than Kiros, though. There were certain things about... I'm torn. I'll put her towards the bottom of B tier, I think. I don't think she's so unlikable. I say that when there are characters that I like in C tier. I don't know. I like Rebecca. I do. I'll admit it. I wasn't as annoyed with her as everybody else was. I think, too, if she would have joined the Straw Hats, I don't know what my thoughts would be on her if that would have happened. But again, a few arcs into the future, I thought Rebecca was a really, really well-written arc character. She got a lot more attention and a lot more development than most arc characters get, really. So that's a big thing. So yeah, I guess that's where I'm having Rebecca for now. Bartolomeo I really like, not as much as people hyped him up to be when he first showed up, but I still do like him. Gonna put him in B tier, I guess, with a lot of the other Dressrosa characters I'm seeing. Ideo I also really, really like. I wish we would have gotten more of Ideo and Dressrosa. Like, a solo fight for Ideo would have been so cool. So I'll probably go around the top of C tier. I would love to put him in B tier if we had gotten to see more of him. If we had gotten like a true solo win and like a backstory and everything like we got for most of the other Grand Fleet captains, then he would totally be at least B, if not A tier, because I love his design. But yeah, for right now, I guess I feel like I really can't go higher than C tier for Ideo. Then we've got, I forget the bull's name. But I loved the bull as like, you know, one of those sort of meme arc characters during Dressrosa. I was like, oh, I better join the Straw Hats. So I hope he's part of the Grand Fleet. To be fair, though, probably put him around Abdullah and Jeet, because Abdullah and Jeet hung out around the bull a lot when they were like saving Luffy, right? Hyruddin, I like a lot. I like Hyruddin's crew a lot. Simping for Gerd, yes please. Let's go B tier toward the top. Maybe a little bit below Bartolomeo and Donsai. Just because I think his fight was a little less good than their fights. But I also really, really, really liked his fight with Machweiss or whatever. I don't remember this guy at all. I know there's Bluegilly, but the guy after Bluegilly I don't remember. Bluegilly I wasn't a big fan of. I'll just throw around the same place as Boo. Then, yeah, this guy. This like Zangief looking guy. I don't remember him. Fuck this guy. Riku, I liked. Liked Riku a lot. Not as much as Kiros or a lot of these others. Maybe bottom of B, top of C. I'll go top of C. I thought his story was really good, though. I actually really liked him. Then we have Hack. Not a huge fan. Hack was just whatever. I liked him, but I didn't like him that much. There were a lot more exciting characters going on. So I'll just throw him in D tier for now. Manchuri was, again, whatever. We really didn't get to see very much of her. So I'll throw toward D tier again. Leo, I love. Leo was great. Again, B tier with a lot of the other leaders of the Grand Fleet cruise. I really, again, I know we're going to get to see more of all of the Grand Fleet crew leaders and everything, but it just makes me really excited, like, seeing them and being like, okay, yeah, I want to see more. I'll just go ahead and throw Panda Man in now, since he's like a meme character and we have all these other characters to come that are actual serious characters. I think it's neat that he's just like in the background or whatever, but like that doesn't, like, he's not a real character. It doesn't particularly make me like him or anything. So D tier. And like even when it comes to like meme comedic things, like he isn't that funny. Like Condoriano is so much funnier than Panda Man. Next we have Bastille. A little bit disappointing. I loved his design though. Loved his design, a little bit disappointing. I'll throw in D tier with a lot of these others. Oh man, I could say the same about Diamante, right? Diamante I really, really liked, but I felt like he ended up being a bit on the disappointing side. I'm gonna tentatively put him in C tier. Treble, I hated, but I hated in a good way. I hated in a, what a despicable, can't stand this guy, annoying villain type of way. I hated him in the way that you're kind of supposed to hate villains. And that kind of made me like him a lot. His Devil Fruit was an interesting one when it came to the fights. And he had a really interesting character in how he was manipulating Doflamingo since he was a child from behind the scenes in a lot of ways. So I'm actually going to throw him in. You know what? I can't say that I like Trouble more than a lot of these C-tier characters. I thought he was a great villain, but I don't like him better than a lot of those characters. No, he's in C-tier, and he's probably going to end up somewhere around the middle of C-tier. Maybe even on the lower end of it. Pika, not a huge fan of. Devil Fruit was kind of interesting, but didn't really have much character or anything going on. I'm not going to put him in F-tier, but wasn't great either. Sugar, again, just didn't have too much character. I don't even remember her name, but I know she can go in F this guy tier. Lao G! So what I got? G. Gonna put him in C tier. I should just start up a G tier just for Lao G. You know what? Screw it, let's do this. How do we add a row below? Alright. How do I... This is just going to be the G tier. Let's make it gray. You know, he's an older guy. Now where'd I throw him? Where's Lao G at? So I got G. Alright. Lao G gets to be in G tier, all on his own. We've got Senor Pink. I loved the fight in the flashback. It actually did get me really emotional. But at the same time, especially looking back in the future now, and I'm like, maybe toward the top of D tier. Who knows? I might move him up to C. It's just now that we're out of Dressrosa. Dressrosa was so long that I'm just like, man, we spent so long in Dressrosa that I almost have Dressrosa PTSD, and I'm like, everything after that is better. It's like when you eat something that's like not very great, and then anything you eat after that, it's like by comparison, it's like, oh wow, this is better. Mach Weiss, D tier. Dillinger or Derringer, I kind of like them. Maybe top of D tier. Gladius or Gladion? Gladius? I thought it was Gladius though. Interesting villain. I thought was one of the more interesting members of Doflamingo's crew. I might put him in the bottom of C tier just because, yeah, I thought he was one of the more interesting members of Dofi's crew. We have Rebecca's mom, who I remember like Scarlet, right? Was her name? I remember like nothing about her. D tier, like even her flashback didn't really make me like her particularly that much. It just increased my sympathy for Kiros and Rebecca. Then we have Kanjuro. Kanjuro I like. I think Kanjuro is a good villain. I think the reveal that he was part of the Kurosumi clan was a little out of nowhere, but cool. And I also, one thing that I really, really like about it though, is just the idea that we thought he had these terrible drawings he could bring to life the whole time, but in reality he was manipulating everybody by being like able to draw really incredibly the whole time, and it allowed him to fool so many characters. Really can't forgive him for hurting, potentially even killing, but I still have my hopes up that she's fine, for hurting Kiku. So yeah, I still think C tier just because he's a solid villain though. We've got Corazon, who I don't really get the same love for as everybody else. I'd say also C tier. Like, I just thought he was a good, like, good flashback character. Some people think he's like one of the best ever. Like, a lot of people think that actually. But to me, he was just, I don't know, solid flashback character. Then we have Kaido, who is a really, really enjoyable villain. Kaido's a really fun villain. I don't know if I would put him higher than B tier yet. You know, maybe I would. Kaido's kind of a brutal savage in a lot of interesting ways for a villain. I feel like we haven't got the particularly sad backstory for him yet. There's a lot we still don't know about Kaido, and just like what I've been saying about Yamato in a lot of my discussions, I would almost argue that that's a good thing, because we still don't know a lot about Kaido, which is kind of a negative against me thinking he's one of the best characters, but it also means he's still a bit of a blank slate where Oda can still write a lot of really, really great stuff involving him. So because of that, it just makes me think that Kaido's pretty great and has so much room to grow. So much room to grow as a character. From there, I guess we'll probably start getting into like Zoe, right? I would think. Hold on, let me check my recording stuff. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I guess. No, we still have. Oh my god. Fuck this guy. We got introduced to Weevil like once, and then he hasn't even shown up again. It's like Oda just forgot he existed, or whatever. And like, ah man, his design's so lame. I was like, oh, we're gonna get to learn about a new, like, 7 Warlord, and he was just lame. Lame. Bakin has some potential to be interesting, with a relationship with Whitebeard and everything, but at least for right now, F tier. I just really don't care. We were introduced to them, never really saw or heard anything of them again, and I was never interested in them particularly. Zunisha, I think, is great just for carrying one of the coolest, like, countries we've seen in One Piece, one of the coolest areas on her back. I love the Zoe arc. Again, I think that if the Zoe arc was like right after Punk Hazard or something, I might be like, oh yeah, that was pretty good. But I think again, the fact that it was after Dressrosa was like, it had been like 4 years of Dressrosa, so getting to Zoe was like, oh, this is such a breath of fresh air. Um, so I think that makes me like Zoe and Zanishi even more. So throwing them in C tier. Then we have Ryunosuke, right? The little dragon drawing. Again, was only around for like a chapter, but was so funny. So I'm going to throw in C tier again, just for how funny it was. Then we have Wanda and Carrot. Wanda I like a lot. We haven't really seen that much of her. But again, I guess as far as arc characters go, a lot of the minks are pretty developed. Like, at least sort of the main ones. So I like Wanda. I love her relationship with Nami, which is like weirdly romantic to me. So yeah, you know, B tier. I don't know where in B tier. Maybe like around like Kinemon, Caesar, characters like that. I think that Wanda could fit in there. She might even move up toward the top of B tier when I like order them and stuff, you know. Carrot, one of my absolute favorite characters though. Carrot right now though is in an interesting place where Carrot just got thwomped by Perospero. So we have no idea where her character is going to go. What I'm hoping for, obviously, is that this setback leads to her getting stronger, maybe not beating Perospero, but I kind of feel like that's a bit much. He has like a 700 million berry bounty, which is a hell of a lot. So I don't know if maybe she should be beating him, but maybe she could if she learns how to use Sulong without the moon. Who knows? I just want to see more and better for Carrot. And of course, her joining the Straw Hats would be like the best thing ever for me. So she's totally one of my favorites. Going in rooftop tier. I've just really loved her character since her introduction. I just think she's funny, her fighting style is cool. I think the electrical stuff makes me think of Enel, who was always one of my favorite characters. I love her design. And I think when I was thinking more about it, I was like, why do I like Carrot so much? Why is she like all of a sudden, I've always loved the villains, been like, oh yeah, Doflamingo, Crocodile, Enel, they're some of my favorites. So why is like she up here with all these villains as my favorite? And when I thought more about it, I was like, it's really the idea that after all this time where we've just been wanting Straw Hats and wanting Straw Hats, that we might finally get a new one that just it adds an extra little seasoning on an already great character. So yeah, one of my absolute favorites. Then we have Jack. Man, Jack is a hard one because if you would have asked me after Zoe, he would have been rated pretty highly because I thought he was a really cool little arc villain. But then he's taken a lot of L's since then. It's like how I feel about like how Sanji fans must feel. You get a little bit of good stuff and then you take L after L. That's what Jack's situation is. So honestly, I would have maybe even put him in like S or A tier after Zoe, but he's maybe going C tier. Maybe I'll move him up to B, but probably C tier, just because he has been pretty disrespected. We've got Shishilian, one of the lesser developed minks, I think, but I still don't dislike him. Probably D tier, it's just whatever. We've got Inuarashi, who I like, also not like that much, but I do like Inuarashi. Probably C tier-ish. It's a good art character. I love the fact that he was part of the 9 Red Sheaths and everything. Same goes for Nekomamushi. I would probably put... Gosh, Nekomamushi just has a little bit more personality than Inuarashi. Probably still in C tier, but probably higher in C tier. Vito. I like Vito a lot. I love Vito, actually. Vito is going in C tier. I love Vito, actually. I mean, obviously, he's not like one of the greats in One Piece, but I like Vito a lot. Then we have Pedro. I also loved Pedro. I think his story is incredibly underrated. I'm actually putting Pedro in A tier. I think Pedro is so underrated. His story with Roger and everything, to me, is like really, really cool. One of the most interesting and hype little backstories in the entire series. And then we get to see his relationship with Carrot, like the relationship of so many other Straw Hats and characters that we got to see in flashbacks, only we got to see it play out in real time in the Whole Cake arc. So he was basically like a more developed Belmare, a more developed Tom, but instead of seeing their tragic end in a flashback, we got to see it happen in real time. So, yeah, love him. Then we have Raizo. I've never been able to get over Raizo's design being that lame, I'll be honest. D tier. I've never been able to get over the lame design. Goaty is meh. Goaty is not goated. Goaty, bottom C, top D tier maybe. Top D tier maybe. Judge is kind of interesting. I find his epithet Garuda cool, I find his design cool, but on the other hand, he was terrible to Sanji, and while he may team up with and help the Straw Hats from here on, like, this is not an Endeavor situation. He's not gonna get some, like, beautiful, well-written, not really redemption, I guess, but kind of redemption arc. I just don't see that happening for Judge. He's just, even if he works with the Straw Hats from now on, he'll always kind of just be this dick who isn't Sanji's true father to him. So, D tier, just because I think he's a solid jerk side character, but like, I don't think he's a terrible character at all. Maybe a crappy person, and there's still so much to learn about him and Vegapunk. The fact that he basically discovered the lineage factor or whatever. Like, Judge is actually a really cool and interesting character in the narrative to me, but he's just kind of a dick. Same with the brothers. I'll do them before I do Reiju. Ichiji I'm actually putting higher than the other two. I'm actually going to put Ichiji in like C tier. I'm excited to see if their powers come from like the manipulation of their bodies through the lineage factor or whatever, or if they're actual devil fruit users. If so, my theory for Ichiji has been that he has the firework fruit. That's been my prediction for him. And then we have the other two. We have Niji, who can go and fuck this guy tier, just because, like, he doesn't have the coolest design out of the Vinsmokes, and he beat up Cassette, who I really liked. Yonji, Gingo, and D tier isn't that bad or anything. Reiju, though, she can go in maybe B tier. Nah, there's a lot of great ones in C tier, maybe C tier. Again, it's another thing where a lot of people in the fan base really like Reiju, but I've always been meh on her, and I think that, I don't know, I feel like the Power Ranger-esque designs kind of hurt the Vinsmokes for me, whereas if they all had blonde hair like Sanji and just had the different colored outfits, I think that'd be a lot cooler, but the fact that they have all this different colored hair instead of all just having the same hair color as Judge and Sanji and Sora makes me like them a bit less. Then we have Sora. Her part in the backstory was pretty cool. I can throw her in C tier as well. We got Big Mom. Honestly, I would have ranked her really, really lowly after Whole Cake. Because reading Whole Cake, I was like, she might be the worst One Piece villain. Usually One Piece villains are excellent. But in her backstory, she just murdered a bunch of innocent kids because she was fat and stupid. And again, not saying this as in like, oh no, it's bad to be fat. No. I'm saying it as in, that's her story. Like, that's a problem with the writing. Her story is she wants to eat, and so she kills people, and I don't think that's very good writing, particularly. So, that's the crux of Big Mom's character in Whole Cake, and I didn't like that. I didn't think it was cool that this character's entire motivation was she wants to eat, and so she kills people. But then, we got into Whole Cake, or not Whole Cake, we got into Onigashima, and it started to change my opinion. We started to see her care about people. We started to see her make her own devious pirate plays when it comes to Kaido. We started to see where her morality, when she isn't in a rampage, lies. Where she's like, hey, I kill people, I order people to kill people, but you mess with my friends, like messing with Tama, and you're going to get it. You know what I mean? So we got to see her have morals, we got to see her have smarts, we got to see so much more. out of Big Mom, then I don't know. I don't think she was well written in Whole Cake. Her power was cool. Her design I think worked, especially when she was like in rampage mode and stuff. But I just hated the idea that where all these other villains have these interesting backstories and interesting moralities, hers was basically, I am big and therefore I like to eat. I like to eat and therefore I murder people just because I have no self-control. And another big problem too is during Whole Cake, it felt like she could not do anything on her own. Again, making her seem stupid. Like, making her seem stupid by like, without Pero or like some of her other children to sort of carry her along, she couldn't do anything. So again, I hated Big Mom and Whole Cake just because I was really disappointed in what her character was personality wise, but we got to see Onigashima, I think, fix so much of that. So I would say she might have even moved up to C tier just from Onigashima alone. If you were to ask me after Whole Cake, she would have probably gone straight into fuck this guy tier, just because I really didn't like the way she was written in Whole Cake. But Onigashima really, really brought Big Mom back around for me. Perospero, I think, is a great villain. Like, he's just the right amount of annoying. His Devil Fruit's actually really powerful. He did really well against the Straw Hats. Again, without him, Big Mom would have been pretty useless during most of Whole Cake. He was... And we got to see where his morality lied and stuff a bit. Again, he's a shitty guy, he's a villain, but he's a pretty solid villain with a pretty solid power. So I'm putting Perospero in B tier. Katakuri, again, I would say around the same as Perospero, around the same thing, where he's a villain, but we got to see a lot more of him actually. I'm going to put him toward top of B. I think a lot of people love him because of his design. And I do love his design. He's basically what, Dennis from the SpongeBob movie? Was that his name? But my thing with Katakuri is, yeah, his fight with Luffy's really good. It lasts hella long. But I think the best thing about him is the way that he gets mad when Luffy tries to attack his siblings, when his siblings are in danger. Like, Big Mom's whole thing is, oh, this is all about family, but we see that she abuses her kids. She doesn't care about killing her own kids or having them killed. She uses them for political marriage and stuff. She's like, oh, I'm going to set this country up around the idea of a family, and yet she treats her family terribly, but we get to see that some of Big Mom's children aren't like that. Some of Big Mom's kids actually really do care about their family, and Katakuri's one of them more than most of any of the others. So yeah, I think that's the best thing about him as a character, but even so, he's just not really one of my favorites. He might get moved up to the bottom of A tier, but I don't know. Then we have Daifuku. The best thing about Daifuku was seeing his fleet get clapped by Carrot. Top of D tier, though. He wasn't that bad. I thought his Devil Fruit was interesting. Again, I'm interested in more of the Big Mom Pirates showing up for this fight on Onigashima. They've still just been MIA since the waterfall. Oven, I thought was a really cool villain. I thought was cooler than Daifuku, so I'm going to throw him in C tier for now. Cracker was so underrated and so disrespected. Like, Oda disrespected this man. This guy's one of the sweet commanders. He pushed Luffy past the limits, basically, of what Doflamingo was pushing him to, and Doflamingo just seemed entirely OP right before we got to Whole Cake. But though he pushed Luffy so far, he and Luffy were both kind of out of commission after the battle. Luffy after fighting a bunch of other battles after this, and it was days. Brule was taken out of commission, but days later when we get to the wedding and stuff, she's fine. Why is Cracker still knocked out? Like, he got one good hit that sent him across the island from Luffy, but he should have been back up. He was one of the sweet commanders. It was so strange to me. I kept expecting all through Whole Cake. I was like, oh, Cracker's going to be back. Oh, Cracker's going to be back. And he never showed back up, and it was so strange to me. So I'm going to put him in B tier as well, I think. I think he's super underrated. Toward the bottom of B tier, but Yeah, I think Cracker's super underrated. Montdor is a weirdly popular one, but I get it. I like him for some reason too. I'm going to throw him near the bottom of C tier. Yeah, I like him for some reason too. We have Brule. I actually like Brule a lot. I didn't think I would ever say this, but Brule kind of grew on me. I think she's a really funny character. Her relationship with Luffy and their back and forth over her name is funny. I'm going to throw her in B tier. Yeah, B tier, C tier. I might throw her in C tier actually. I do like Brule though. She grew on me. I'll admit it. Smoothie, I think, is overrated. We saw, like, nothing. She was the one sweet commander we saw, like, nothing of. We saw, like, nothing of her in Whole Cake. I'm going to put her in D tier. We really just did not see enough for me to care about Smoothie, like, at all. The only thing we did see was her juicing those people at the wedding, and that was horrifying. Praline I like a lot. I like her design a lot. I love her relationship with Aladdin and how she is willing to put love over her allegiance to her family. And I think the scene of her, like, luring away all the sea slugs was really cool to me because I was like, oh, the Sun Pirates stayed behind to help. And it's Praline in specific doing something cool. So I liked Praline a lot. I'm going to put her in B tier. Then we have Chiffon. Chiffon goes in at least A tier, if not S tier. I would have never thought, getting introduced to Chiffon, that I would absolutely, I'll put her right there beside Beige, that I would love her character so much, but by the end of Whole Cake, I loved Chiffon. I thought she was great. She's a really good art character. Pudding's another one. Pudding went from me hating her to me being like, oh, she's actually evil, that's intriguing, to her developing over the course of the arc and me being like, oh god, I actually really like Pudding now. Like, I'm gonna say B tier for now, maybe C tier. I don't think I like her that much. But yeah, she's a character that I hated and I didn't expect to ever come around to liking. But that totally changed. I ended up liking Pudding a lot by the end of things. Now we have, you know what? Screw Napoleon and Prometheus. They can go and fuck this guy tier. Because they're just so mean to Zeus. They're just so mean. They don't have much character. Zeus, though can go in, like, C tier. Nami sidekick. Then we have Flampe, who a lot of people hate. I actually don't remember that much. Again, it was a really long fight. She was only there for a small part of that fight. And so I really remember, like, next to nothing about her. I don't think I hate her enough to go and fuck this guy tier. So I'm going to put her in D tier. Don't know how I feel about her, though. Pound. Oh, God. Okay, this is going to be an interesting discussion. Pound I loved at first. I thought his story was incredible. He was this one husband who cared so much about his kids that he kept hanging around. He had this brilliant noble sacrifice, and then Oda threw it all in the trash in a cover story. In a cover story, just threw Pound's entire arc in the trash, and now that I'm going back and catching up to the manga, his voice is very, very annoying. So yeah, now that he's been thrown in the trash, I am also going to toss him in the trash, just like Oda. Fuck this guy, lol. King Bomb. R.I.P., my homie. You can go in D tier. Streusen can go and fuck this guy tier. Screw this guy. He's a big part of what made Big Mom the controlled evil that she is today. Then we have Stussy. Pretty neat. Again, her place as a CPH's Zero member is really interesting. I'm excited to see more. Then we have, this is big news. Big News Morgans. I think if he just showed up and everybody's like, aha, it's Big Bird or whatever, laugh at the bird, man, that would be one thing. But I'm going to put him in B tier just because not only is he the head of the, like, World Economic Times or whatever, but we got to see him throw some hands on a CP member. So, yeah, we got to see this guy throw some hands, so it's going in B tier. freaking Mother Caramel or whatever. Fuck this guy tier. She was awful. She's one of the like most evil sort of flashback villains I think we've seen. Something with an M. I don't really... Morrigan, maybe? Gosh, I don't really remember his name. Boring revolutionary, though. Fuck this guy tier. Bello Betty, also not a fan of. Am I not a fan enough to put her in F tier? You bet I am. Pissing off revolutionary fans. This guy... Gosh, I'm also going to put him in F tier. I was making an argument, like, he's not that bad or anything, to put him in D tier. Lindbergh or whatever. It's interesting that he's like an inventor or whatever. You know, I'll put him at bottom of D tier. I'll be nice. Same with Karasu isn't that interesting, but his devil fruit had been set up for like a long time with the revolutionaries, which I find really cool, and his design is alright. It's pretty okay. Then we have Odin. Think is a bit overrated, but I don't dislike him. B tier. Think he's like, that's the thing. He's super overrated, but I also think he's super good, so B tier. Not one of my favorites though. Gosh, Hiyori can go in D tier. I'm not a big fan of Hiyori. Don't know why it is. Not a big fan. Toki is really interesting. I want so much of her story. She can go in top of C tier for now. Then we have Kyoshiro / Denjiro, who's pretty cool. Pretty solid, I guess. Maybe top of D tier, might move into C. Don't really know all that much about him or anything. Kiku, at least A tier. I really like Kiku. Then we have, what is that, Ashura? Oh man, I don't know what it is. I think maybe I'm reading the story wrong. Maybe I'm incorrect. But I totally thought he was a mountain bandit stealing food from innocent people. Like, that was kind of a shitty thing to do. I don't like the guy. I don't like his design either. Yeah, screw the guy. F this guy tier. Kawamatsu I love though. Kawamatsu, like the best thing about Hiyori is her backstory with Kawamatsu. I really like him in the prison arc too. I don't know if it's enough to put him in B tier yet, so I'll throw him in top of C, but yeah, I am a big Kawamatsu fan actually. Then we have Shinobu. I like Shinobu. Shinobu is a cool arc character. I can put her... Again, there are a lot of cool characters in C, so I don't want to put her in B. I'll put her in C tier. Because I really like her as an arc character. Tama is an incredibly good arc character. Throw her in B tier with a lot of other great arc characters. Maybe, might move up to A, but I think toward the top of B is solid for Tama. Okay. Next up, we are going to Tengu Master Guy, who to me has like no character. I have no reason to care about him at all, so I'll just throw him in D tier. Like, I don't have any negative feelings towards him, but I also don't care about him at all. Otsuru, who is pretty cool. I like Otsuru. I'm interested to see where their relationship with Kinemon ends up after this arc is over. We have, what was it, Hold'em? F this guy tier. Get him out of here. Speed, I like a lot. The horse faces that she makes are a bit, like, disconcerting at times. Not a fan of those, but you know, I think she's pretty solid. Maybe even toward the top of C tier. I do like Speed. King is aight. Gimp Bird. Gimp Bird is alright. I guess C tier for now. Nothing about King has like super impressed me yet. But again, this is one of those things where we've like just been introduced to the character kind of recently. But yeah, hasn't impressed me yet. I think Queen has actually been more impressive than King thus far. But also Queen's kind of a jerk. And also, gosh, I do like Queen's design, but maybe not as much as King. I don't know. Queen could end up going in... nah, D tier's way too low. I gotta put Queen in C tier for now. We have Hyogoro. I love Hyogoro. At least top of B, if not into A. Least top of B. We have Otoko, who I love as well. Again, maybe not quite as much as Tama or Hyogoro, so maybe toward the bottom of B, but I do like Otoko a lot. Then we have Ieyasu, or Yasuie, and I really liked Yasuie as well. Gosh, they were really, really good. Maybe toward the top of B. Maybe toward the top of B. Then we have Orochi. Fuck this guy tier. He's a good, solid villain, I would admit. He's a good, solid villain, but I just straight up don't like the guy. Then we've got Page 1, who sadly has taken nothing but L's. Page 1 has been like nothing but embarrassed by everyone. I love his design, and I actually feel a lot of sympathy for the guy taking all these L's. Bottom of, I like all the Tobiropo. I'm going to go toward bottom of C tier, maybe. Then we have Fukurokuju, who I don't really care about very much, but really isn't that bad. I think they could be an interesting fight to see, because we're going to get to see them hopefully go up against Raizo, I guess. We kind of saw that start, but then cut away, and who knows if we'll ever get back to it. We have Daifugo, who can go in at least D tier, at least toward the top of D tier, just for that scene saving Tama and then dropping the thumbs up. So good, I love it. Bamanuki, right? I think I did not like them during the prison stuff. So even though they're part of Tama's army now, still gonna throw them in fuck this guy tier. And now we have the Bridge Protector, who I did not like at first. I thought that they were a little boring, wasting too much of Zoro's time in the story, but then we got into their backstory and everything, and I was like, wow, was I wrong? So, B tier. I can't wait to get back into their story in like the anime when I catch up to the anime, because I actually ended up liking it a lot toward the end. It's another character that grew on me from not liking them at first to just me coming around and being really interested. Then we have Ulti. Ulti is one of my favorite current art characters. Ulti is hilarious. Ulti has had some good fights. Ulti can go in A tier, because here's the thing. Ulti was clashing with Luffy with headbutts and everything, then clashing with Yamato and kind of getting defeated there for a bit, then clashing with Nami for a bit with Big Mom, surviving all of that with Big Mom and coming back for Nami again. She has just been really, 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 really cool. Next up we've got Who's Who got... Everybody makes the joke, got cancelled by Jinbei recently. I thought Who's Who was pretty interesting. I like the idea of tying in just random art characters back to the main plot and stuff, just adding a little bit more depth that way, and making them seem more important just by being attached to main plot stuff. We also used Who's Who for a lot of just info dropping and expositioning. So Who's Who's pretty alright. I like all of the Tobiropo, so I can still throw them in C tier along with Page 1. Then we have Black Maria, who I think is very, very cool. Sadly, Sadahebi isn't on this list, because I simp hard for Sadahebi. I'm actually going to throw her around King and Queen. I like all the Tobiropo. I actually think I like the Tobiropo a lot more in their designs and powers than in the All-Stars or Headliners or whatever. Then we've got Sasaki, who I think is one of the more boring Tobiropo members, probably bottom of the Tobiropo for me. But we still haven't learned that much about Sasaki. Fighting Frankie and everything, and both the way that Sasaki looks and the fact that Sasaki's fighting Frankie could mean we could have a connection to Kokoro. So that could be really, really cool. So C tier for now, but again, a lot of these are really new characters with a lot of room to grow. And then we're through the Tobiropo and we're on to Yamato. I like Yamato a lot. Think he's great. The thing is, though, my opinion on Yamato is going to change depending on whether or not Carrot joins the Straw Hats. Because if Yamato joins and Carrot doesn't, I'm going to be salty as hell. I think I keep seeing a lot of people say over and over again that Yamato, they're like, the reason I would rather have Yamato join is because there's so much more development and stuff. And I'm like, what story are you reading? Yamato, the only thing we know about them so far is that they want to be Odin. That is essentially it. But again, like I said in a recent discussion, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing because it means that Yamato's a blank slate, a canvas where Oda can tell an incredible story. We still don't have the sad backstory yet, and I'm really excited for that to happen. It would be really cool too if we could see the sad backstory be something like them being so into like the idea of Odin and everything, and then seeing the execution of Odin being that sad backstory that happens for Yamato. That would be an incredible way to do things, to give us a backstory we've already seen, but from another angle that makes it somebody's sad backstory. That would be really, really cool. But yeah, I actually really, really like Yamato. We still need to know what their devil fruit is. There's so much still to learn. And it's again a carrot situation where I feel like we've waited and waited so long for a for another Straw Hat that it just makes me enjoy the character even more, just from the possibility that they could be the next Straw Hat. But yeah, like I said, gonna be salty if they get in over Carrot, but I still really like them. Still gonna throw them in like A tier. A tier with the potential to move higher. Like, so much potential to move higher. Like I said, we still don't have the sad backstory. We still don't have the probably devil fruit power. So, gonna be there. I'm actually surprised a lot of these New World post-time skip characters didn't rate very highly for me. But I'm going to go through now. I'm going to take a quick break to order them within the to order them each within the tiers off camera, and then I'll come back with my final sort of thing to have a discussion on the finalized tier list. Alright, so off camera, for the past few hours, I've gone through and I have ranked them all within each tier from worst to best. So I'm going to give you a full, comprehensive 391 characters in order for me, with the exception of Lao Ji, who would be like C or B tier, but out of respect for the gimmick, I'm putting him in G tier all to himself. The only ones that changed from one tier to another when I was going through and ordering them were Tsurume went down to F tier, Tenguyama Hitetsu, I think is his name, went down to F tier, and Neptune went down to F tier. Diamante and Shiryu went down to C tier, Kyoshiro, Goti, and Karasu went up to C tier, Lafitte went down to C tier, Speed and Kawamatsu went up to B tier, Marguerite went down to B tier, had her a little bit high up, and I moved Tama up to A tier. So either way, to go through all these characters from least to most favorite right now, we have this guy whose name I don't even remember, but I couldn't stand him, super annoying. Then Strusen, Bakin, Hannibal, this lame guy from Skypiea, Weevil, that guy who I don't remember, Manboshi? I don't remember all the Shirahoshi siblings' names. This guy whose name I don't remember this guy either, Wadatsume, who I found super annoying, Hold'em, I think, other brother of Shirahoshi, this guy from Fishman Island, Katarina Devon, Mother Carmel, the guy from Luffy and them's flashback, I think that is, the one chick from Dofi's crew, Vasco Shot, I think, Koza was lame, Wiper, Dragon, San Juan Wolf, this guy who I don't recognize, but he is a celestial dragon, so screw him, the one guy from Sanji's place, Baratier, Ashura Doji, this one guy from, I think he was in Dressrosa, but I don't remember his name that well, the announcer guy from Dressrosa, Prometheus, who is annoying, this guy from Luffy's first flashback, like at the beginning of the series, the one Celestial Dragon guy who at least doesn't rank like at the bottom, because we at least get the joy of seeing him punched in the face, which isn't something we see for a lot of these other ones. Pound Gaimon, I think is his name. This guy I don't really remember. Was he like a CP9 member that got taken out at like Water 7 before we even got to NES Lobby maybe? Maybe that's what he was? I really don't remember this guy well. Brand new, I think that is. One of the Vice Admiral guys. Orochi, guy from Long Green Longland, I think. One of Enel's priests, Babanuki, I think. The one guy, name starts with an M. One of the revolutionary leaders. Another Vice Admiral guy. Guy from what is it? Thriller Bark? Don't totally remember. Another Vice Admiral guy. Sarkis. Kuina's dad. Guy from Sky Island. The Toss Boy. I don't remember his name. The Toss Boy from Fishman Island. The other guy from Baratier. The guy who looks like the best friend from a Goofy movie from Skypiea. This one guy from Impel Down, also don't remember his name. The sneezy dog cannon. The guy that Sanji kicks in the face in, again, Long Green Longland, I think. The guy who was Vivi's partner in Baroque Works. I love how this is why these people are in Fuck This Guy tier, because I don't even remember most of their names. Nezumi, I think his name was, from Nami's arc. Napoleon, another guy from Skyland, another guy from Skyland. I think he was one of Enel's priests as well, but I really don't remember him very well. The one swordsman guy from Fishman Island, the roller skate guy from the train to NES Lobby, one of the Gorosei, the dog guy from Sky Island, another Gorosei, the Gorbachev one, the Gandhi one, another guy from another one of the priests. I remember him being cooler than the other ones, vaguely remembering some of these guys. Surume, Niji, Berobeti, Neptune, the Tengu guy, the one guy who has the spider devil fruit, which is pretty cool. I actually like dig his design and stuff, and the one female Shandian that we meet. Moving on into D tier, then we have the one sibling of Shirahoshi that I think I remember helping Luffy out during the fight with Odie Jones at one point. The one guy from Blackbeard's crew that actually looks kind of cool. Then, oh gosh, what was this guy's name? Lindbergh, I think. Then the head of the Oniwaban, Fukurokuju, I think is his name. Viola, Hiyori, Peckham's, Gedatsu was, I think, this one's name. Flampe, Odie Jones, who wasn't like a good villain, but wasn't like that terribly awful. I remember kind of liking his fight with Luffy. Really, I feel like Hody could be top of F tier and we could just slide the rest of these guys down if I wanted, and Raizo could be top of D tier. But then we have the Clover guy from Robin's flashback, Yonji, the axolotl slime, Scarlet, I think, Canis' dad, Makvice, Baron Chicken, Baron Tamago, he becomes Count Chicken after being Viscount Chick, right? Pika, Panda Man, King Bum, Squidward, I don't remember his name, Judge, the Elephant Sword, Hack, Aokiji, the one Elder Star who everybody theorized was Sanji's dad, Sugar, Kong, the one coolest looking Elder Star to me, Momonosuke, who I both find Momonosuke really annoying, but also believe Momonosuke to be a really good character with a lot of development throughout the series. So that's why Momo's kind of low. I find him really annoying, but I also think he's a really good character. Then Papagu, Jesus Burgess, what was Marigold? Kumachi? Kumagoro? Kumachi? Hina, Miss Groundhog Day, the one guy from Galila, I do not know their names. Mr. Four, Polly, other guy from Galila, Momu, those two from Baroque Works. Whoop Slap, right? And then the guy from the Frankie family whose name I forget, Brownbeard, the two guys that were the little fusion fodder for Wapol, Lashes, the Nyanban or Miaoban brothers, Virgo, full body. Yeah, I think people are gonna not like Virgo being like this, just thrown into the shuffle in mid, but Virgo was never really much to me. The one chick from Impel Down that was pretty cute. The one guy that was along with Mashira but isn't quite as memorable. Then Makino, I think is her name. And then Mashira, he was around a little bit longer and had some funny scenes with Luffy. That's why I put him a little higher. Stelly, I think is his name. Then the one sniper from Blackbeard's crew, one of the only members we've actually seen get some feats in, but still, not the coolest. Then Moji, I think is his name. I think this is the long horse from Long Ring Longland, or I could be mistaken. We got Doc Q, Mary, the Pegasus from Sky Island, Gonfal's horsebird thing. Dorian Brogy, the DSL guy that Usopp fights. Then the two giants from NES Lobby, whose names I forget. Mont Blanc Cricket, I think. Pearl, I think was his name. Then Miss Doublefinger, Cobra, freaking Bellamy. Poor Bellamy. I used to like Bellamy so much. He just got so thrown in the shuffle and disrespected. Senor Pink, Chimney? No, Chimney is the girl. Chimney's rabbit. Gombe. Then Kokoro, Wapol, Carrot, Pepper, and Onion, who I can't really distinguish between, but I remember all three of them being pretty, enjoyable art characters. Then Chimney, Yokozuna, Mancheri, the bird, Hattori, something like that, maybe. Bastille, I think. Blue Gilly, T-Bone, again, I think. Daifuku, Axe Hand Morgan, Daifugo, freaking Hogback, who is just one of those funny, annoying type of One Piece villains. Kiwi and Mozu, Smoothie, Kami, Laboon, Shindori-chan, Boo, right? Boo. Shishilian, Dellinger or Derringer. I don't remember which translation is official for him. God, was it Diamante, Shiryu, Karasu, Gladius, then Gotti, the bull from Dressrosa, whose name I'm forgetting. Was it just Brave Bull? Something Bull, I think. Then Koshiro, Sabo, who people are going to be upset is this low, but yeah, I've never been too into Sabo either. Otohime, Ryunosuke, Gen, the guy whose name I forget from CP9 actually, now that we're here. I think it might start with a K, maybe. Kamatsu? Something? I don't know. Aladdin, King Punch Guy, Eliza something, I think. Squardo, Johnny and Yusaku, who I forget which one is which, but I liked them both. Mondor, Sora, Sasaki, Zeus, Bruno, Sadi-chan, then Sengoku, then what is Don Krieg, Who's Who, Chapapapapa, Fukuro, then Akainu, Iceberg, Sentomaru, I think, or Sentomaro, either or, one of the two. Absalom, Kabaji, I think is his name, Jeetan Abdullah, who I don't really distinguish between. I mean, I know that one, with the forehead and everything, I'm pretty sure he's based on Abdullah the Butcher, so I'm assuming that one's Abdullah, and that one's Jeet. Then we got page 1, the original Ors, Yasop, Khalifa, Sodom and Gomorrah, who both were kind of goated. Baby 5, Helmeppo, Kanjuro, sorry, just trying to remember 391 characters' names, jeez. Then we've got Alvida, Igaram, Oven, Ichiji, Blackbeard, Kurubi, I think was his name, Otsuru, not to be confused with just Tsuru, then Kaku, Tom, Miss Golden Week, Heracles, Apu with the lowest by far, I think, rank of any of the supernovas, Isa, then Don Jin Zhao, Ben Beckman. I think their name is like Salome, maybe? Salome? Something like that. Hancock Snake. Then we've got Yorkie, I think is Brooks Captain's name. King Momonga, I believe is his name. Or it could be like Momoji. I think it's Momonga though. Then Lola, Corazon, Chaka, not to be confused with Dondo Chaka. Then Caribou, Treble, Riku, Reiju, Queen, who I think could move up even higher. I don't know. I really like Queen. Vito. These are all getting into characters I like really like. Stussy, Brule, who I think for a lot of people is probably rated really highly, but Brule actually really grew on me a bit. Black Maria, Inuarashi, Belmare, Shirahoshi, Shushu, or Chocho, I think it's Shushu. Zunisha, who is big goated. And then Purin, who again is another character who grew on me a lot. Nekomamushi, we've got Orlumbus, Lafitte, who I think I called like Lestrange or LeBlanc or something earlier in the video, but I'm pretty sure their name is Lafitte. We got Lady Toki, who I want to learn a lot more about. There's still so much mystery surrounding Toki that I think is super interesting. Ideo, Shinobu, who I really, really like. Jack, who I might be overvaluing. Jack has kind of been taking a lot of L's recently. Big Mom, Izo, Tsuru, Gonfall, moving into B tier here. Kawamatsu, Galdino? Is that Mr. Three's name? Speed! I really like Speed. Ryuma, Montblanc Nolan, the head of the Shandians, I forget his name from the flashback. Beppo, then Vivi, then Kinemon, Zeph, Karu, Olivia, Nojiko, Kuro, Caesar, Quina, I forget her name, it's like Nyar something, Nyarla maybe? Something like that, from Amazon Lily. Then we've got Gin, Mr. 5, Duval, Perorin, Perospero, then Richie, Jabra, Garp, Shaki, and now I think we move into the Haku Top 100. I think this is around the 100 point. I don't know if Shaki is number 100 or if Dalton is 100. But we've got Dalton, Rebecca, whoa, I'm blanking out, Kaya. Wow, that was weird. Lucky Roo, Diamond Jozu, Cracker, who I think is really underrated. I mean, even Oda just forgot about this man. Gyukimaru was his name in this form, but I forget the fox's like actual name. Shanks, Mocha, Otoko, then Arlong, Merlin with the drip, Praline, Fisher Tiger, Wanda, then Kiros, the Thousand Sunny, Konis, who I really, really like. I hope we get to see Konis again sometime. Ors Jr., Vista. I was having trouble between those two when, again, I was taking hours to pour through this and put these characters in order. I was having trouble with Ors Jr. and Vista. I decided to go with Vista over Ors Jr., but I was having trouble with those two. Boa Hancock, and like even now I feel like some of these characters, like Crocus, I was just thinking when I was getting ready to record again, I was like, was Crocus too low? Should he be all the way up in A tier? Should I just move all of these up to A? It's difficult because I like all of these characters a lot, especially getting into B tier. They're all characters I really, really like. Got Madame Charlie, Dedan, Magellan, Katakuri, Kobe, Hachi, Porche, then Hyridine, Kozuki Oden, Old Man Hyogoro. I love Hyogoro. Then we've got Leo, Big News Morgans, Bartolomeo, Yasue / Ieyasu, or Tonoyasu. I don't really fully remember all of the different names he had. Then we've got Marguerite, who I moved down to B tier. I think A tier was maybe a little bit high. I really, really like her, but maybe not that much. Donsai at the top of B tier. Then going into A tier, we've got Otama, Then Spandam, who I think is a great villain as far as One Piece goes. Suleiman, who I've always really liked for whatever reason. Kiku, Hawkins, who is cool. And it's like, on the one hand, I want Killer to win the fight with him. But then on the other hand, I'm like, I really don't want Hawkins to keep taking L's so much. Pedro, who is like really great. I think he's a super underrated character. Then we've got Cavendish, Lucci, Gecko Moria, Kaido, Jungo, Mad D Monk, Uruj, Koala, Miss Valentine's Day, who is like really rated highly, but hey, this is where we're at. Whitebeard, Kuma, then Roger, Killer, my brain is blanking out here. Holy crap, Tashigi, Inazuma, I think? It might be Inazuka, but I think it's Inazuma, maybe? Not sure which. Yeah, I might be getting a letter wrong there. Kureha, Yamato, who I think, like, Yamato's already up here in A tier, but you let Yamato join the Straw Hats. You let Yamato get a sad backstory. You let Yamato show off a devil fruit, and the ranking is probably gonna end up moving up even higher. Das Bones, Sandersonia, who I really like, of course, we talked about that. Mihawk, Borsalino, Kizaru, then Perona, Ulti, who is ranked really highly already, but I love Ulti. Ulti is so funny. Plus Ulti, like, took, like, a fight against Luffy, and then Yamato, and then Nami, and then Big Mom, and then Nami again, and kept getting back up. So mad respect to Ulti. Ace, then we've got Bonnie, then my lowest ranked Straw Hat, still pretty high up. This would be spot 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 33, 32. Sanji's in 32nd, my lowest ranked Straw Hat, but still pretty high up when you consider just the insane amount of characters there are. Then Usopp, Ivankov, Beji, Chopper, Fujitora, Chiffon, the Goat, Frankie, Monet. Then moving up into S tier, we've got, yeah, I really like Monet. Moving into S tier, though, we have got Silver's Rayleigh, we've got Kid, we've got Pell, Smoker, Diaz Drake, then Buggy, Saul, the Goat, Foxy. I feel like Kaido's looking real tough now, but wait until the Silver Fox rolls up. It's going to be over with the Noro beam. Then we've got Hiroruk at the top of S tier. Then in super double S tier, there is Bon Clay, Enel, Brooke, Trafalgar Law, and then moving into my top 10 characters, Robin, Nami, who was really tough to choose between them, but I'm actually going with Nami over Robin, just a slight lead. Again, I really like both of them, and I always have. I just remembered a scene that I had totally forgotten as well. It got, like, thrown in my recommendeds that I watched, like, yesterday or something, where it's Jinbei apologizing for all of Arlong's crew and stuff to Nami, and like, wow, that was a really great scene that I forgot ever happened. And it just made me love Nami and Jinbei even more. Then top of double S tier is Crocodile. And then in rooftop tier, my top 7 overall, we have the Going Merry, who I mourned for weeks. I think that's the most emotional a scene has ever had me, because not only was, like, especially in the anime, not only was the scene like really heart-wrenching and emotional for me, Mary's funeral, but even afterward, I was like down for 2 weeks from that. I was just bummed, just depressed from that. So I really can't think of other shows that have really done that for me other than One Piece, like really hit me that hard. Plus just the story of Mary is so good, and the like focus we had with Water 7, and then at the end of Enies Lobby, it was so good. Then Zoro, then in my top 5 we have Marco the Phoenix, we have Jinbei, we have Luffy, we have Doffy, who I rank Doffy so highly, and Doffy used to be my #1 favorite. because Dofi's like a character who was a linchpin not only in the world of One Piece, in like the new world, but also in the story of One Piece. So not only was he a great villain, a great rival character like all the villains end up being in their arc to Luffy, to help Luffy grow and develop more as a character. He had this great past, this great connection to Law, but defeating Dofi in the just as in the world, his defeat sent off like set off everything and made everything fall into chaos because he was the one basically holding the new world together with his strings. So in the story, taking him out just causes everything to fall apart. There's so much interesting chaos going on with the Shichibukai and the government and the Marines, and now Kaido and Big Mom. Just the loss of Doflamingo set all that cool stuff off. So I think he's a really, really, really awesome character. And then my number one character is Carrot. I really love Carrot just as a character. I like her personality, I like her design, I like her story so far. I thought that her getting kind of the Straw Hat-ish backstory, but we got to see it play out in real time during Whole Cake, was so cool and so different. It felt really unique. Again, Zoe is one of my favorite arcs because I think it's one of these things that's like the best bits of writing from Oda, where I always go back to this. And there's one twist in Beastars that I think is not quite as good, but is also really good, is like the best twist I've ever read, because you read the first part of the Zoe arc, and then you have the twist that Raizodono is safe. So then, if you go back and read the same chapters, it's like you get to read the story twice and get a different impression each time. Like, you go back, and those chapters, like, completely mean different things. And it's so cool how you get a story, and then you get the context flipped on its head, and then if you go back and read it, you get a totally different story now that you know the context. It's so cool. So again, my Zoe hype kind of makes Carrot rise highly too. And another reason too why I think Carrot is high up, why I think Luffy is high up, and why I think Luffy is such a great main character is sometimes there are characters that you just cheer for, that you just root for, that you want to succeed. Like if I'm reading another big shonen, when I think of other big shonen, if I were reading or watching Naruto, I know Naruto's anime Jesus. He's just straight up gonna win. But Luffy loses against villains like at least once or twice usually before he can finally come back and learn from his mistakes and defeat them. It makes a character that you root for, that you want to succeed. And Carrot to me has that too, where because of just like it being so long, wanting another Straw Hat and everything, and the way that she's been like in this limbo area where it's like, she could be made a Straw Hat, she could be not made one. Like, that, and just, I don't know, a lot of the things about her character to me make you want to cheer her on, and I think that's what brings her up to like being my favorite character, is because she's a character that I'm always like, I hope Oda writes something good for Carrot. I hope Carrot succeeds at this or that. Just like I think for Luffy as the main character, I think that for Carrot as a side character pretty often, and I think that really increases my enjoyment and love for the character. So yeah, that's where I am with my top list. And of course Marco's in my top 5, and I don't even like, we've seen so little of Marco in the grand context of the series, but for some reason every time we see him I'm just like, oh hell yeah, I love that guy. So that's where we are. That was every character, well not every character, but 391 of them, minus some of the minor side characters, ranked from my least to most favorite. I hope you enjoyed. This is going to be like 3 hours long, so yeah, really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment on there too. Tell me what you thought of this list, what your thoughts are, anything. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, ask and I'll give you one. It'd be totally cool if you subscribed for more One Piece stuff and much more on the channel. But If you want to help support the channel on Patreon, it's patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. It will help me keep making videos like this, where I post a 3-hour video that it took me a long time to work on, and I'm not putting mid-rolls on it or anything because I don't like doing that. So yeah, it would be very much helpful, but either way, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.